Tonight, the Franklin Simpson football season begins, but not against these host Warren East Raiders. Why, of course not. It's bowl season in South Central Kentucky, and if you're not familiar with that, yeah, it's the opposite of college football. Bowl season's how we start things here, but in a game that was originally scheduled to start the day, we now end the evening with the season opener for these Franklin Simpson Wildcats, who are down on the field getting set to take on the Daviess County Panthers. I'm Tyler Eaton, joined by Tyler Arterburn back with us here in the booth. And Tyler, it's been a long time between seasons, although I know for this Franklin Simpson football team, when you look back at how last year ended, I don't know if that time between the end of last year to the beginning of this season could have felt longer for anybody but those Wildcats. But you know, with the way that ended in particular and the momentum this program has started to build up over the last few years, they're going to come out hungry to start this season with a statement.
Oh, yeah, these guys put in a great offseason. They worked hard. You can just tell it. The excitement is in the air, man. They're ready to go. I'm excited. I know you're excited. I hope you're excited listening to us. And, oh, my goodness, here we got another football season starting up.
We're about 24 minutes out from kickoff, so we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll take a look at what all is back for Franklin Simpson and some key newcomers to watch as we go on this season. We'll also take a look at this Daviess County team as we go on, and you'll hear from head coach Max Chaney ahead of kickoff, which is scheduled to be at about 8:30 here tonight. It's Franklin Simpson, it's Daviess County. It's the season opener for the Wildcats, live from Warren East High School, and you're listening to it all right here on 92.3 WFKN. All right, Kendra, we're a little behind, so these first two breaks, let's do a minute. Yeah, thanks. Trying to do some live math. Who did you pick on their defense?
The defensive end, he's either
23, okay.
Or Josh Coffey, I don't, depending on.
Back with you from Warren East High School as we continue to get you set for this season opener for the Franklin Simpson Wildcats, facing off against the Daviess County Panthers. First matchup between these two teams since 2008. Daviess won it 25-20, but back in a familiar place for openers for Franklin Simpson. Won their opener over Christian County 40-28 last year. Daviess County played here as well as part of this J. Allen Builders Ball, losing 24-0 to Warren East, who, Tyler, we got to see earlier open their season with a dominant win over Christian County with a running clock implemented at halftime in that ball game in our first game here tonight. But taking a look at this Franklin Simpson football team, what they bring back, graduated 13 seniors, only have 6 this year, and only 5 of them we're going to see out there on the field. But when you look at the whole of this team, they actually return a ton of production, 45% of their receiving yards, 60% of their rushing yards. And I think most of us would agree, Tyler, that the holes or maybe the concern areas when you look at what's back and what's not would definitely be more so on the defense than the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, you had great leaders that graduated from that defensive line and the linebackers. Man, they would be greatly missed. Tackler leaders in terms of statistics and tackles,
yes,
and leaders also in terms of making sure people are in the right position. You got young guys that are going to need to step up this year, which happens every year in high school football, but you never know from year to year. But you know, we'll see if the Wildcats are up for the challenge up front.
I mentioned all they return on offense. Only returned 30% of their tackles from last year. Only 6 of their 25 sacks from last year. If you look at the players that had sacks last year, this was a team that was in the top 5 of the state with 25 sacks. They only bring back 6 of those. Granted, almost all of those were what Titus Brown was able to do, getting into the backfield and produce. But particularly up front, I do want to look at the offensive line. This is your area of expertise, and there are a couple new pieces there so far through the scrimmages. As you'll hear from Coach Chaney later on, unsurprisingly, this is what he talked about for the longest during our coaches interview for this game. Couple new pieces in there, a piece in Kate Bennett who had some experience before, but you know, in this Franklin Simpson offense, with your main two wingbacks returning, going to be a lot of pressure on those guys up front to deliver.
Yeah, absolutely. And Caden had played. He was injured most of the year last year. He would have heard his name a lot more. He was gonna be fighting for a starting spot, and this year he came in, is getting that starting spot at left guard, and I look for him to step up, and just some other guys on the offensive line. You know, I think they can do it. I'm confident in the guys, and Coach Chaney coaching an offensive line. You know they're going to be ready to play. You know they're going to fight pound for pound. They're going to be out there. They're going to be scrapping every play.
Colin Anderson and Blake McPherson back in the backfield, as I mentioned, both guys with over 600 yards last year. Colin, that big play back, averaging over 8 yards per carry. Blake really became the bell cow as the season went on. Had 10 or more attempts in 4 of the last 5 games for this team, but the big headline is always going to be for a football team when you got a new quarterback slotting in there, although this year it's not really a fully new quarterback with Brady Delp taking over. The only issue there, Tyler, is he was the team's leading receiver far and away last year, but we saw it in the first scrimmage that we got to broadcast. I know you've watched the highlights from that game as well, and even the second scrimmage. Boy, he's looked good back there, not just throwing the ball, but the number one objective for any quarterback in a Franklin Simpson offense, just running the show effectively.
Yeah, and I wasn't able to be at the scrimmage due to sickness, but I was able to hear you all, and you all did a great job. But
you're so sweet.
Yeah, Brady, I'm interested in the dynamic, what he's going to be able to bring to the game.
Yeah.
In terms of using his legs and scrambling. He's got a strong arm. I'm excited to see what he can do. I know he can run. He can move from the receiving yards. A very dynamic player. Put him under center. He's going to make some plays.
Wildcats were top 10 in the state in rushing yards last year. Only averaged 60 passing yards per game, as you'll hear me talk about with Coach Chaney as well. Had about 150 in that home scrimmage against Ohio County that we got to watch. We'll see if the Cats open it up a little bit, but you know that bread and butter is going to be the run game, as it should, with everything this team brings back, not just with Colin and Blake, but Lane Alford as well, who's the last player we'll touch on, Tyler, before we take a break and then look at Daviess County. On both sides of the ball, there may not be a more impactful player, both in terms of play and leadership, than what Lane is going to bring to the table this season.
Yeah, Lane, he got a lot of spot play. He played pretty much the whole game on defense and got some spot runs at fullback and some of the wing backs. He mainly blocked out there. But he's going to be a force to reckon with. Not many people are going to want to tackle him. He's going to step up and take some of those carries from some of those big backs that graduated last year for Franklin Simpson. But on defense, he's going to have to be more of a leader. You have a guy like Hayden Satterley who's playing at the next level, and rightfully so. And Lane's going to have to fill those shoes in terms of being a leader and making sure guys are in the right spot. And I think he's up for the challenge. He's got a good head on him. He's a good leader. He's well respected. I think he can step up and do it. But we'll see.
He was a big play machine last year, top 10 in the class in interceptions with 7 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, and recovered 5 fumbles as well. By the way, he had 3 carries in that first scrimmage at home. All 3 of them ended up being touchdowns. He was untackleable in that game. But the challenge ramps up tonight as it's Daviess County for the opener here at Warren East High School. We'll dive into a Panthers squad that comes into this season with a new coach but has some momentum after the way they ended last year. All that comes your way right after this. You're listening to Franklin Simpson Football on 92.3 WFKN. We're about just under 15 minutes away from kickoff for the season opener between Franklin Simpson and Daviess County. Tyler Eaton, Tyler Arterburn with you. Another season of the two Tylers. Thank you for bearing with us. I know it can be difficult to keep track of who's who as we're running this show. Tyler, taking a look at this Daviess County team coming out of 6A. They went 6-6 last year, had a rough start. Went 1-4, and the win was a forfeit win, and then finished the year by winning 5 of their last 7 games, and a lot of that had to do with probably their biggest returner to this team from last year, running back Gatlin Maisie, who averaged 78 yards per game in the last 7 games of the season, only got 16 touches in the first 4 games for 44 yards. They let him loose, and then speaking of letting guys loose, Tyler, they've got one of the most dynamic players that you're going to find in the state in Jace Hunt. We saw it in scrimmages against local teams, against Greenwood and against Glasgow. 5 catches between those 2 games, almost 300 yards.
Yeah, man, this kid is just incredible. I found him on Twitter with X now, and he has his highlights there everywhere, and he's going to be recruited, and he's putting together a great recruiting profile to probably go to a big program. He is a very dynamic player. He can climb a ladder and catch the football over people. He can catch the ball in just a very little bit of space and take off and run past people. He is a playmaker. Just incredible highlights. He can catch the ball in traffic. He can make things happen even with just a simple screen and just take off. Also, last year he had a kickoff for a touchdown during their season last year.
He can do it all, and he's going to have to, because outside of Hunt, the star junior, they've only got 2 players that had at least 1 catch last year. Junior Jaden Hamilton, who had 1 catch for 2 yards, and Maisie, who had 1 catch for 1 yard. That's it for receiving production coming back besides Hunt. They've got a new quarterback as well, and Garrison Barker did play a little bit, only had 12 passes, but only completed 5 of them and threw for 3 interceptions, although we've seen senior Remy Davis play quarterback in scrimmages as well, so could see both of those guys over the course of this game. On the defensive side of the ball, they return a lot more. Hunter Corbin comes back with 110 tackles. Maisie almost had 100 tackles. They actually, if you go back last year, one of the bright spots for this team was that they had 5 of the top 17 tacklers in 6A. They returned 2 of those in Corbin and Maisie, but there are some other guys to look at. Caden Tierney stands out to me. Tyler, he had 44 tackles down there between the trenches last year. Parker Higginbotham, at linebacker, just a sophomore, had 42 tackles last year as a freshman. But you've got your eyes on somebody else as well in this Daviess County defense.
Yeah, there's a defensive end, number 23, James Moore. And I was just looking at film for Daviess County, and man, he just stood out as a defensive end. Can get around the edge. He stays low. He sets that edge. And what I mean by setting the edge, he makes sure that other people are not getting around him. And he just an incredible pass rusher. Now, Franklin Simpson doesn't pass as much. He's going to play a little bit more in the run game. But, man, he's a disruptor out there.
You've got to set the edge against this rushing attack.
Absolutely. He's got to do that. He's not going to pass rush as much. But, man, he can play. He's somebody that this offensive line has got to keep their eyes on.
Only scored 13 points per game last year. That was 30th in 6A, but only gave up 24 per game. That was 13th. Again, a team that improved every game as the year went on. They do have a new head coach this season, and Anthony Payton has college experience, played at Kentucky Wesleyan, was on the staff at North Oldham. He's coached in the Arena Football League, Indoor Football League, so going to bring some different things to the table. We've seen a lot of RPO on the tape with this team, a lot of run-pass options. So Franklin Simpson saw some of that in their scrimmages, but going to be a modern offense for these Cats to take on in this season opener. We're going to break it down more with the head coach himself, Max Chaney, who joins us on our pregame show. Then after that, we bring a kickoff here from Warren East High School as Franklin Simpson takes on Daviess County in the season opener. All of it here on 92.3 WFKN. All right, we should be good to do 2 minutes before and after that interview. I say that, and we're going to be safe and do a minute and a half on the second one. I will.
Is there an anthem?
If so, we dodged it.
Yeah.
Because, Kendra, that interview was 6 minutes and 9 seconds, I think.
Now you do it on purpose.
I literally didn't mean to that time.
The officials for tonight's game is referee Jeff Burris, umpire Jeff Morgan, linesman Mojo Ford, line judge DeAndre Wilson, back judge Zach Eisenberg, field judge Jesse, side judge Tanner Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing if we had anything else. Just kick off.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Daviess County wins
Past my
the
bedtime.
Franklin Simpson will receive to begin the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to
Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. Gonna find you. Gonna find you. Ready or not, here I come. Can't hide. Gonna
Start the season on the offensive side of the ball as they'll receive this opening kickoff. Two men back there, and boy, we know how dangerous one Colin Anderson can be if they let him get his hands on one. Cats returned 3 kickoffs for touchdowns last year. That's the most we have on record on the KHSAA site. As Foot connects with ball, we're underway. The kick is fumbled at first, eventually recovered at the 5-yard line. Return up the near sideline, and there goes Blake McPherson past everybody. Are we going to start this thing with a kickoff return touchdown? A tackle from behind at the 25-yard line. But, Tyler, we talked about the explosive players that return for this Franklin Simpson team. There's an explosive start to your season.
Blake McPherson, man, an explosive player. He started this season off just right. What a great kickoff return. He had great blocking up too, man. It looked like he was going to fumble that ball or not be able to handle it, and he just took off and went. What a great play. Way to recover from that, and the Wildcats get great starting field position.
They have it right at the 25-yard line of Daviess County. Ball on the left hash as Brady Delk steps in under center. They're going to give Blake the play off. Colin is on one side. On the other side, it looks like Cole Alford with Lane Alford, Lane back at fullback. They go Colin Anderson left to right opening play. He gets up near the 20 where he's wrapped up and tossed out of bounds. Good gain on first down.
Yeah, just a simple play, a jet sweep to the outside, great blocking. A lot of teams, they pull that extra cornerback if there's no wide receiver over there. They pull them inside. But, I mean, we run to that side a lot of times, so we'll see if Daviess County scoots that guy out to be there as a defensive threat.
Blake checks back in. Cole comes out. Going to see a lot of run from that sophomore. Going to get significant playing time this year. We'll see Xavier Hampton back there at running back as well. But Blake and Colin, that duo, both over 600 yards last season. Blake set up the drive with the big kick return, and now we've got a 2nd and 5, just 20 seconds into the ball game on the right hash. Franklin Simpson in the red zone, or I guess here it might be the blue zone at Warren East. They go up the middle to Lane. He tries to cut it outside. Good leg tackle there to hold him up. It's rare that the first man is able to stop him, but that might be the only way to stop Lane. You just got to try to stop those tree trunk legs from moving.
And what I saw on that play as it was set up, you see a lot of NFL teams doing. They're using motion very effectively. What the Wildcats did is a lot of times you send motion, that means the play's going over there, but they sent motion to the right and the play came back to the left. That's a good mix-up. That's a new level to this offense that we didn't see as much last year until the season went on.
3rd and 3 at the 17. They quickly snap it, pitch it out left side. Anderson has blockers, cuts downfield inside the 10, and knocked out of bounds just short of the 5. First down, Cats, and it's a 1st and goal.
And that was a play, looked like Daviess County was waiting for a motion, but there was no motion, and he just took the ball and right around the edge, and they weren't ready for it. It looked like they were ready for an inside run. A lot of big guys up front for Daviess County, but nonetheless, you just pitch it out to the outside. Just a good counter play to what Daviess County is doing.
Gain of 11 for Colin in that first scrimmage. We got to broadcast every time he touched the ball. It was a double-digit gainer. 1st and goal at the 6. We're just a minute into this ball game. Anderson goes into motion left to right. Instead, they go up the middle. Alford tried to lower the head, but again, wrapped up well. Got a couple of yards down to the 4.
It looks like Daviess County is going to just make sure that the inside run is not there. And Wildcats look like they're making some substitution to get a little bit more heavier of a package in there to hopefully punch this thing in. But even so, I mean, Lane was able to punch it in, get some running hard will, take care of that. Even if you have a guy there, he's able to gain an extra yard or two, then not just be put down.
We see the 3 fullback formation here from the Cats. Ball goes left to right, and it's wrapped up at the 1-yard line. They went to McPherson after they put a couple of fullbacks down the gut. Blake gets down to maybe the half-a-yard line.
Yeah, he's inside that 1-yard line, looks like. Just barely outside the goal line. I thought he went in, but they ruled him down.
2 minutes in, 3rd and goal for Franklin Simpson inside the 1 of Daviess County. Scoreless so far, but FS trying to strike first after starting this drive at the 25. Dealt quickly to the line, hands it off to the first man through, and the first man through is in for 6. And it's Lane Alford striking first. Felt appropriate with how hard he ran those first couple of carries he got on this drive.
And I think the line had heard people questioning them. They answered it on that one, man. That was such a surge with that offensive line up front. Just great power.
Little different game for Lane than we saw in that scrimmage a couple of weeks ago. Had 3 carries for 3 touchdowns in that one. Here, the first drive, 3 carries, 5 yards, but he punches it in from a yard out. And the extra point as well from a young Brody McAllister is up and through. Franklin Simpson strikes first, 7-0 Cats. Just over 2 minutes in for Warren East High School. You're listening to Franklin Simpson football on 92.3 WFKN. Davis County going to get pretty good field position to start their first drive of the game. Kickoff was fielded and ran out to the 35-yard line, where the Panthers will start on the right hash with a new quarterback, well, slightly new, had some throws last year, but new starting quarterback in junior Garrison Barker. As we mentioned in the pregame, only 12 pass attempts last year, completed 5 of them, had 3 interceptions in those 12 pass attempts. But they're going to come out here with 2 wide receivers each way, and one of those being the main guy to watch in number 0, Jace Hunt, lined up in the slot on the left side. As Tyler, for some reason before the play, I guess a helmet might have come off on that kickoff.
Knee pads weren't covered up. The officials are going to throw you out of the game for a play till you get your knees covered.
Had to bring in a new running back standing at the hip of the quarterback. They hand it off up the middle. It's a big gain, almost for a first down, 9 yards up to the 44-yard line.
That was a good run for Davis County right there. Our defensive line just didn't look like they were lined up and ready. Looks like they're going to try to get up tempo and go fast.
2nd and 1, and flag comes in. Think there might have been some movement before that snap, and there was. We'll walk that back 5 yards.
Yeah, it looks like Davis County. This is something you can't see on film if they go no huddle, if they have a hurry up. You got to kind of talk to other coaches that have played them in the past. But any team that tries to do that, one negative aspect of it is you don't always get set.
So it'll be 2nd and 6, ball at the 39-yard line against the Franklin Simpson defense that last year was top 10 in points allowed, was 5th in rushing defense in 3A. The Bugaboo pass defense, 32nd at 138 yards per game, gave up at least 150 yards 7 times last season. 2 wide receivers each way again, running back at the right hip of the quarterback, and a flag comes in this time from back in the secondary, and that was just a delay of game.
Yeah. You go from trying to hurry up and going too fast to going too slow, and it looked like they had some issues with substitution and communication in the huddle. After such a good start of the run, 2 penalties backs Davis County up to 2nd down and 11.
Gained 9 yards on the first play, and then you lose 10 from penalties. They do have Gatlin Macy back in there at running back, who was the one removed from the game. Ran for 594 yards last year, 4 touchdowns, almost 6 yards per carry. They're going to give him one here to the left side, and the Cats have it sniffed out entirely. 4 blue jerseys were in the backfield, and that's a big loss.
That looked like a tackle by Jax Crafton up there. He has played offense for last year, started every game, I believe, and looks like he's going to get more reps on defense and answering the call there in the middle.
3rd and long. Ball is back at the 31-yard line.
Davis County still looks confused. They're trying to get in trips, and trips left. They don't know where to go.
They need to get to the 45 for a first down. They do have 3 wide receivers to the left side. Quarterback takes the snap, drops back, is pressured. He's going to tuck it and run. Here goes Barker. This is why they like him. He's hit at the 40, dropped there, might have stuck up to the 41. It's a productive carry, gains 10, but 4 yards short of the first down.
Yeah, and that's going to bring up 4th down. Looks like a lot of the Davis County receivers didn't even look like they were running around. I don't know if that was set up to be a draw, but either way, it's still short of the first down.
We have seen both Barker as well as Remy Davis, the backup senior quarterback, throw, and the consensus seems to be Davis might be the better pure passer, but Barker brings that extra element with his legs. As the punt is a high one, we'll see what bounce it takes. Freshman Barker Cheney under center in his first varsity start. Gets to Delt. They go up the middle. This time there's Lane. Bust through a hole into Davis County territory across the 45 down to the 40 for a first down.
And anytime, I've said this before, anytime your fullback can get a gain over 10 yards, you know you're doing something right. It looks like Davis County is scared of these speedy backs and Colin Anderson and Blake McPherson, and Lane was able to get a 12, 13-yard gain.
That one goes for 12 up to the 40 of Davis County. 1st and 10 there. Ball on the left hash. 6:50 left in this opening quarter. It's 7-0 Franklin Simpson. They fake it up the middle, go to Blake McPherson, second man through, picks up 2, and is wrapped up at the 38. 2nd and 8 upcoming.
This is a different formation than I'm used to seeing with all the backs on the left side, and you're faking the toss, and Blake was able to come back. Yeah, and looked like he had guys all over him, but officials, and there's multiple guys in the deep backfield for the officials, but they ruled it clean, so play another play.
Cayson's route running was really clean, at least from that first scrimmage we got to see against Ohio County. Dropped one or two deep passes, caught a long touchdown as well. That's just going to be an area of growth. With Franklin Simpson, you might not get those deep ball opportunities often, so you got to take advantage when they're there. And here, perhaps a passing situation. 3rd and 8. They're going to keep it under center. Delk wants McPherson to go into motion. Didn't see it at first, and then Alford moved early. And they're going to walk it back 5 more yards. It'll be a 3rd and 13 now.
That's a play that the Wildcats were trying to go on to slow down the defensive rush, and they just jumped. And looks like they're making some substitutions to talk to some guys about not making that mistake again.
That was one thing you noted about this Daviess County team up front. They really like to bring pressure in passing situations.
Yes, they do.
We'll see if that's what it is now. Needing 13 yards. Ball is at the 43. Need to get to the 30 of Daviess County for a first down. In the gun here, Delk rolls out right. Fakes one pass. Wants to go deep on the double move, and he overthrew his man. They wanted Colin Anderson, who has really flashed potential as a receiver. We saw him used a little bit in that fashion last year. Had a couple of catches for 50 yards in that first scrimmage against Ohio County. Couldn't connect there. And it looks like at the Daviess County 43, because of the down and distance, the Cats are just going to opt to punt it here and play safe and trust that defense.
Yeah, I mean, 4th and 14, you pretty much almost have to punt. A lot of times you don't want to on your side of the 50, but this is a situation where you need to.
5:57 left first quarter. Daviess County with their first defensive stand. Clean snap, and the punt is straight up into the air from McAllister. Going to take a very friendly hop for Franklin Simpson. Was near the 30, went all the way down to the 20, and that's where it's going to be down, and Daviess County will take over for their second drive of the night.
I think he was trying to, what they call coffin corner that football right inside the 20 and got right to the 20. So, a 30-yard change of field, that's not bad.
Brody, just a sophomore, his first year with this Wildcat football team, took the same route as Cody Alexander. Coach Cheney found him as a soccer player, and Cody had a fantastic season last year, one of the best kicking seasons we've seen at Franklin Simpson in a while, although Maddie Alexander would have something to say about that as well. As Daviess County gets set to start this drive, they had receivers out wide. Now they bunched them up, 3 on the right side, 1 on the left, everybody near the line of scrimmage. It's a pitch out to Maisie on the right side. Cats have it covered, and they wrap him up and finish the play again. Another tackle for loss. This one, I think they're going to mark it as a loss of 3 again for Maisie.
Yeah, I don't know what they were trying to do. They lined up everybody inside, and then nobody was out there to block. I don't know if they were trying to trick the Wildcats or thought they would line up different, but that didn't work.
That was probably the one issue that stood out the most in that first scrimmage against Ohio County. The Cats were in the backfield a lot, but missed a lot of tackles. That has not been an issue so far tonight. It'll be 2nd and 13. 2 wide receivers each way now. Macy to the right side of his quarterback, Barker, standing in the gun. Gets the snap. Quick throw underneath, and it's right into the hands of a waiting linebacker. Are we going to get a pick 6? Nearly. Tackled down at the 5-yard line. That was the easiest interception Jackson Gass may ever have.
Oh, my goodness. You love seeing the guys with the 50s on their jersey getting an interception, carrying the ball, plays guard on offense and linebacker on defense. And what he did, he was showing blitz, and he was up on the line, and then the last second, right before the quarterback snapped it, he snuck back into coverage. Quarterback didn't see him. He was right there in the zone, right in his spot. He was able to get an easy interception. Great disguise in the coverage as well.
Coach Cheney said in our preseason meeting that he was really excited about the growth he's seen from Jackson. They've had to move him to linebacker because they need some bodies there, and is very happy with how much he's improved. Now the Cats have a golden opportunity. 1st and goal from the 4. They go to the second man through, churning his legs, but dropped down. Now as a flag comes in late, Franklin Simpson unable to get in on the run to the left side with Lane, but a flag comes in late, and it's on Franklin Simpson, a late hold call. And we'll see how far they march this one back. It came in very late into the play.
And it looked like it was a backside hold, too, that didn't even affect the
play.
No,
it wouldn't have.
So, and holding penalties are just so detrimental, and that's from the spot as well.
Yep.
It's not necessarily from the line of scrimmage. So, it's even.
They
back
say it
farther.
happened at the line, and as late as it comes in, it tells you it was behind the play
Yes.
because by the time it came in, Lane was down to the 2-yard line, but now it's a 1st and goal at the 14. Lane still in there behind his quarterback. Groves, the lone wide receiver, out wide. Now they move Lane over to a wingback spot. They put McPherson into motion. They're going to pitch it out to him on the right side, using Alford as a blocker. Blake tries to gut upfield, but hit hard and dropped inside the 10. Good gainer to get some of that penalty yardage back. Got about 6 to make it 2nd and goal from near the 8.
Looks like the Wildcats are doing a really good job recognizing and understanding how Daviess County is going to line up to each formation, because those cornerbacks on those toss plays, whenever there's no wide receiver over there, they are just very tight. You toss the ball out there, there's nobody out there for many yards, and Blake was able to get a good gain.
4 minutes left in the quarter. The huddle had broken, and then they all came back to Brady. It seemed like there was a miscommunication as now they line up. Lane and Blake in the backfield. They're going to fake the pitch, go to Colin up the middle. He blitzes up near the 5. It was a cool little misdirection play as Blake kind of leaked out like they were going to pitch it to him, and then as it looked like that pitch was going to happen, Colin streaks in to grab it from Brady, but Daviess County was all over that one. Defensively, they've been put in some tough spots. They've held up and made Franklin Simpson work, and now it's a 3rd and goal from the 6.
And even with just a 2-yard gain, I mean, that still sets up the toss on the outside.
Yep.
So it's not, even though it's a 2-yard gain, it's not a bad play.
Blake on the left side, Alford's the fullback. They fake it to him. Going to go with the end around. Anderson cuts outside. Needs to beat one man. Lowers the shoulder. Reaches out the ball. Did he get it over the pylon? No. They mark him out at the 1.
I thought he stretched that ball over. If he was about an inch taller, he would have had a touchdown right there. But just good fake right there by the fullback, Lane Alford. And
I think this time they'll keep the offense out on the field.
yes.
4th and goal from the 1-yard line, leading it 7-0. 3:09 left first quarter.
Oh,
Cats started at the 4 after the interception and return from Jackson Gass.
they got a lot of substitutions in there. I don't know if they're going to get this off. They're already counting down. They're going to have to burn a timeout.
Believe they will, and the Cats do. We'll see what they run with. Last time they were down there on the goal line, we got used last year to seeing the 3 fullback formation where you would get Gavin Dickerson, Lane Alford, and then Hayden Satterley. In their last time
Get people to jump off sides. Something else that helps out a team is if you go on 1st down and the defensive line's not ready. Let's see what the Wildcats do here.
Franklin Simpson gets to the line quickly. They go up the middle to Lane, and he is not touched until he's in that gold and blue end zone.
There you go, Lane Alford. I mean, the Wildcats, I don't know if they went on 1st down or what the cadence was or not. No way I can hear it up here, but they went to the ball quick. They did not allow Daviess County to set up, and they just weren't ready to defend that play.
Lane ran for 5 touchdowns last year. He's already got 2 in this ball game in the first quarter alone. 3:06 left, his 2nd touchdown of the day, both from a yard out. As McAllister steps in for the PAT, it is up, and it is good. 14-0, Franklin Simpson leads it over Daviess County right here on 92.3 WFKN. yard line to start their drive, trailing Franklin Simpson 14-0 after the second touchdown of the day for Lane Alford. 2 wide receivers left, 1 right, tight end each way for Davis County as they hand it off to Maisie going left, tries to get outside, and again there is absolutely nothing. He has lost 3 yards on all 3 of his carries.
Yeah, this running game isn't working for Davis County, and it looked like it may be a late fumble that Franklin Simpson was trying to claim was theirs, but I don't think anybody's questioning it. It's Davis County ball. But nonetheless, I mean, I still wonder where Jace Hunt's been. They've not given him the football at all. I mean, this is only the 6th offensive play for Davis County, but still, I mean, most of them just been run off tackle that have gone for almost nothing.
Hunt is in the slot on the left side. 2 wide receivers each way, 2nd and 13 from the 9-yard line. 2:15 left opening quarter, 2-touchdown lead for Franklin Simpson. They go to Maisie once again. Right side busted up initially, and the Cats recover again. They might give him forward progress to the 10, but that's it. And that play was busted up from the jump.
And I think what Davis County is trying to do, they are just sold on running that RPO. And the defensive back for Franklin Simpson is backing up, and so you just give it off every time. But you're going to have to do something like call a screen where you're not reading it or something to get the ball to some of these guys on the outside. I hope they don't. I hope Franklin Simpson's still able to defend it, but if they want to have a chance, that's what they got to do.
3rd and 12, 3 wide receivers out left. Hunt is the inside man, 1 right. Looking to throw to that left side, goes underneath the Hunt, but he threw it behind him, was a little hitch route at the 20-yard line. Needed to get to the 22. It falls incomplete regardless. And on 4th and 12 from their own 10, Davis County will punt for the 2nd time tonight. Now, I will say this about Hunt. Even if you go back and look last year, as dynamic as he is, only had 21 catches for 230 yards. This year he's got, between the 2 scrimmages coming in, about 260 yards, but still only on 5 catches. So they don't give him the ball a ton. He just makes the most of those opportunities.
You can't be lulled to sleep on him.
Yep. But especially in a game like this, both with the way the score has gone and the way this Franklin Simpson defense has played, sooner or later they might have to try to open it up and throw. As they're going to have to punt it out of their own end zone here. Snap's a good one, though. Cats don't bring too much pressure. Decent punt down the left side. Takes a bounce with some spin. Now goes forward up near the 45-yard line of Davis County, and they will down it at their 46. So again, Franklin Simpson, great starting field position, and that time all because of the defense, which Tyler Arterburn, outside of the first play of the game, really has not given up anything at all.
Yeah, I got a little nervous in that 9-yard run for Davis County on
with the
very
backup
first
running
play.
back.
Yeah, backup running back because of the knee pads situation. But after that, I mean, they're just taking it to them, controlling the line of scrimmage. And we've said this in the past. We've had guys been undersized many, many games that we've played as Franklin Simpson over the past couple of years. But what do you do then? You use your strength, which is your quickness. And Franklin Simpson has known that. They've been able to make good plays using that.
Starting this drive at the Davis County 46, 2 wide receivers out to the left side, going to run it up the middle for a gain of a couple on first down.
Alford on the carry.
Lane hasn't had the big explosive plays that we saw in the scrimmages, but has just been consistent, getting 1-2 yards every carry. Reminds you a lot of Gavin Dickerson.
Yeah.
And realistically, when you bring back Blake, you bring back Colin, that's all that you need from Lane.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and again, those play. You think a 2-yard game, and that's a failed. That's not a failed play because, again, it just sets up so much outside because you're going to draw those linebackers inside, keying on that fullback.
And they're going to try to go outside here. Anderson off the fake to Alford. Davis County plays it well at first. Anderson cuts upfield, lost the football. Think he jumped back on it down at the 42-yard line. Lost his grip. Or excuse me, down at the 37, lost his grip at about the 40. Heads up play to get back on it. A fortunate one for Franklin Simpson. It also sets up a 3rd and short. Was a good gain as well.
It looks like they're going to let the quarter run out, but again, you had that fake up the middle to Lane, and so many guys keyed on. Now there were guys flowing outside, but not too many, and Collins was able to make a good cut and get a good gain where we're in good position on this 3rd down and short.
3rd and 1 when we come back. We've played 1 quarter, all Franklin Simpson so far. The Cats lead at 14-0 on a 25-yard touchdown drive and a 4-yard touchdown drive. Back with the 2nd quarter right after.
Bust it outside and tried to score, but he knew he only needed a yard and a half, so he was able to get himself through there and dive for the 1st down.
Sets up a 1st and 10. Minute into the 2nd quarter. Cats up 14-0. Ball on the right hash. Moving in Daviess County territory, now going left to right on Jim Ross Field. Delk sends McPherson into motion. They give it to Anderson going left side. Had a hole initially, tries to cut it back right. Might have got down to the 30-yard line. Going to mark him just short for a gain of 3.
Good little gain right there, just keeping that inside, outside action going. Call one play outside, call one play inside, and the defense doesn't ever know where the ball's going at that point.
Daviess County's done a good job of limiting the big plays. They've given up. Franklin Simpson has had to work for every yard they've gotten. Haven't had any negative plays. As McPherson goes into motion, Delk looking to throw here. 2 men deep. He's going to go to the 3rd man. Anderson slipping in down the left side. Overthrew him, incomplete. Had Franklin as well as Perry running down the right side, and then Anderson came down that left seam. It seemed like Colin signaled to the ref he might have wanted a hold there in a defensive backfield. No flag comes in, and it's 3rd and 7. 0 for 3 so far through the air in this one.
Yeah, it looked like Daviess County was ready for, but I thought it was a good situation to pass. But nonetheless, they weren't caught off guard.
Ball's at the 31, need to get to the 24 to move the chains. Anderson goes into motion. They fake the run again, floats it up top, and it's nearly intercepted. But a great defensive play by Skylar Rickman to break that up. Suddenly had to switch to DB there, and it's 4th and 7.
And Skylar Rickman's going to be a player that you hear as the season goes on. Got great size at 6 foot, 171. Playing wide receiver, he may slip in there sometimes at tight end, but he's a newcomer. Didn't even play. He played football in middle school. Didn't play football last year as a freshman. but has good size to make great plays for this Wildcat football team.
Wildcats are going to keep the offense out on the field here. 4th and 7 at the 31-yard line of Daviess County. Inside 10 minutes left before halftime. It's play action once again. Delk rolling right. He's looking downfield. Wants the deep ball, throws it into double coverage and sailed it out of bounds down the right side. And the Cats turn it over on downs. You can tell right now, well, I'm not the coach you are, so I'll throw this to you. Feels like for Brady, just a little bit too much of that adrenaline built up right now to get this started.
Yeah, just heard just saw Coach Chaney having a conversation with him. Just tell him, calm down, do what you can do. Don't try to, you don't have to make this great, outstanding Patrick Mahomes play. I mean, you got to make a Brady Delk play. I'm sure he said something different than that, but, to the same effect. And just play your game.
Can the Daviess County offense get something going? Taking over at their own 31-yard line. 2 wide receivers each way. Maisie in the backfield goes into motion from left to right. They give it to him up the middle. The Cats are all over it once again. Slip past the first defender to turn it into at least something. Gain of 1 on first down for Maisie. He's now got 5 carries in this ball game, and he's lost collectively 7 yards.
Yeah, just so far, I mean, almost 15 minutes into this game, any question about the Wildcats up front has been answered. I mean, they are stopping this run without hesitation.
They give a friendly spot, so make it 2nd and 8 after a 2-yard carry. Trips right this time, ball in the middle of the field. Barker takes the shotgun snap, pressured, wants to roll to his left, but he's wrapped up and slung down. It's a sack for the Wildcats. Believe it was Jackson Crafton.
I believe that was Aiden Jones. Yeah, they were both. Yeah, that was.
They
Aiden
were both
Jones.
There. Yep.
But Aiden Jones.
I think Aiden had him
sophomore.
first. Jackson came in there to clean it up, but Aiden wrapped up those legs and he did not let go.
Yeah, he's just a sophomore at 5'9", but man, he is stout, and he plays fullback on offense, defensive tackle on defense. Not many people are moving him, and he is quick. He's a heck of a defensive lineman making plays.
3rd and 13 now. For Daviess County after the sack, it's the same formation with 3 wide receivers on the right side, and now I think there was some confusion as Hunt initially turned to see what the play was, and the coaches realized Hunt didn't know what was going on, and they took a timeout. I feel like, Tyler, that was a shot that was going to be designed to just try to get the ball in his hands, and when you see the miscommunication from your best playmaker who you want to put the ball in his hands, you take quick thrower to hand it off, and Franklin Simpson has denied the pass every time to where he's had to hand it off, and the Cats have just had the advantage up front. 3 wide receivers right side as we come out of the timeout. Jace Hunt is the inside man standing on the right hash. Crafton in the gun. Takes the snap. Hunt is going down the seam. Crafton doesn't have time to throw it to anybody. Flushed out right, and he's sacked again.
Jax Crafton getting in the backfield and making something happen. That's something I saw in the scrimmage a lot. This quarterback, if you get a little pressure on him, he's going to try to scramble around, try to make something happen. It plays, just, you don't want to say it, but it plays a little scared back there whenever he's trying to make the play. And Franklin Simpson was able to take advantage and get a sack on the 3rd down.
Crafton probably had a half sack on the play before. That one was all him.
Yeah, he didn't want a half.
7-yard loss, and it's now 4th and 20, and Daviess County will punt it away from their own 21. It's another pretty good punt. Fair catch called for and brought in at the Franklin Simpson 49-yard line. I think it's interesting, and it speaks to the athlete that Brady is, that despite making that move to full-time quarterback this year, he's still in there at punt returner. Now, granted, a lot of the time it's just going to be because that heads-up play. He's a very smart player. He's going to know when to fair catch it. He's going to know when to let it go. I don't know how many times they'll let him return it from back there.
they're able to make plays and, just out-muscle the Wildcats right there. But even so, Lane Alford runs the ball hard and is able to get just a couple.
2nd and 8 as he was able to surge up into Davis County territory at their 49-yard line. Delk's in the gun here. Nope, they've got him under center. Now settles in, takes the snap, fakes a handoff up the middle. They go outside. McPherson tries to juke, but a second man comes up, and he's hit hard by 2 players out of the secondary. And the first one there again was Hunt. He's made some great plays in run defense, and that's going to be a loss of 3, puts the Cats in another 3rd and long.
And offensive Max Cheney and the offensive line coach, he probably not happy with some of those guys right there. But he had a pulling guard, and he just ran right by some players. Got to have your head up and look for somebody in a different color jersey.
3rd and 11. Franklin Simpson 0 for 5 through the air so far in this ball game. All have been shots downfield. Delk will start this play under center. Anderson is the wingback left side. Behind Delk is Alford. They fake the pitch, hand it off up the middle to Anderson as he swallowed up. Picked up the yards they lost on the last play, back up to the 49 of Davis County. But on 4th and 8, the Wildcats are going to punt it away.
And there's not much you can do in a 3rd and long, and that's got to be a point of emphasis as you go into halftime. And just the mental mistakes that put you in 3rd and 12, 3rd and 14. There's not much we can do whenever we're in that situation.
McAllister gets a clean snap. Much better punt this time. Lots of air time, and a fair catch called for and brought in at the 16-yard line of Davis County. That was a fantastic kick from Brody.
Yeah, he's got a leg on. He can boot. I mean, he's an athlete as well. He did play football in middle school, and I don't know if he's just, he's playing soccer for Franklin Simpson, I believe, and maybe he's just gone to kick. But I'd like to see him, going out there catching some passes or something at some point. But nonetheless, I mean, if you can boot it like that, you're going to have a job.
It's the same thing that Coach said about Cody Alexander. He said, man, if I had this kid for 4 years, he'd be playing wide receiver, free safety, and kicker. So we'll see how long he can get Brody to stick around.
Yeah, good thing Brody's just a sophomore. So
he'll get some time to mold him. Barker back in the shotgun at quarterback. Bunched up formation with 2 wide receivers each way. They fake the handoff up the middle, try to go outside to Hunt. Cats are in the backfield all over him, but he gets away, and he's turned it the other way. Hunt in open field across the 30, 35, 40. Has some blockers, 45 past midfield, and he's wrapped up just short of the Franklin Simpson 45-yard line. That should have been a loss of 5.
Yeah.
And instead, it's a 35-yard gain for Hunt.
I mean, some of y'all probably getting annoyed with us talking about him, but, I mean, there's a reason. If you look at his film, if you look at his highlights, man, the kid can play. He's taking a break right here after that long run, but he is somebody you always got to keep your eyes on.
Officially goes for a gain of 37 at the Franklin Simpson 46-yard line now. They go 3 wide receivers right, running back to the left side of the quarterback who's looking to throw. Tries to go underneath it. It's defended extremely well. Lane Alford breaks it up from behind.
Absolutely. It's a very hard as defensive back line. I mean, anybody in coverage to stop a pass when you're behind the guy, but Lane was able to reach around there and knock the ball out, doing a great job and not getting pass interference because that's what a lot of guys want to do, but he just knocked the ball out.
Especially there at linebacker, the instinct is to hit.
Yes, it is.
But Lane did a great job of just getting a paw up and breaking that one up to make it 2nd and 10 at the 46-yard line. 5:07 left before halftime. Franklin Simpson still up 14-0, but Davis County moving it here. Quick out to Hunt, and he dropped it. Was just outside his reach. Got the fingertips on it, but couldn't reel it in.
I just threw that ball out there quick, and I think I got away from him a little bit.
We've yet to have a completion in this ball game. Davis County 0 for 4 with the interception. Franklin Simpson 0 for 5. They've avoided any big mistakes through the air. And here on 3rd and 10, expect to see Davis County air it out again, although we'll see if the game plan is just find a way to get it in Hunt's hands. Again, like you said, we're going to talk about it ad nauseum. He's touched it once, and he got 37 yards.
Yeah.
Collectively, the rest of the team has lost yardage.
Yeah.
2 wide receivers right, 2 left. Hunt in the slot on that left side. He's standing back, and he's looking at his quarterback as a whistle's blown, flag comes in. and they didn't get the snap off in time. That's their second delay of game.
And part of the reason that is the quarterback is going to the sideline to get the plays. Franklin Simpson, what they do is they have signals, and they signal it in, and the quarterback's able to stay in the huddle. But Daviess County's sending their quarterback all the way to the sideline to get the plays.
And I'm
that
also
slows
looking,
everything
Tyler,
down.
you tell me if I'm wrong, I think the official is just keeping that count. Or is there a clock down on the
No,
field?
there's not a clock on the field. What the back judge does is he raises his hand up whenever there's 10 seconds, and then just like in basketball where they're kind of counting down 5, that's what he does with his
And
hands.
it's hard to see that if you're looking at the sideline to
is.
get your
It
play.
is. That's why you got to have coaches looking at that.
3rd and 15, trips right. Shotgun snap, rolling out to the right now is Barker. Near the line of scrimmage, he's just going to get rid of it at the last moment and was hammered as he did. Gets up quickly afterwards, but worse for wear after it again. It's Jackson Crafton that laid the hammer down, and it's 4th and long.
Hayden Jones is back there as well, and another freshman. We talked about John Parker Cheney being a freshman starting on the offensive line, getting reps in there as a freshman for the defensive line is Donovan Dudley, number 55, who almost got that sack as well. They were all in his face.
We're going to see a lot of players rotated in, especially on that defensive line. We saw at times in the scrimmage. I love this. Killen Thompson and Jamarius Franklin in there being swamped in on the edges, kind of like what we saw with Wade Humphrey last year. Both those guys 6'3". And on 4th and 15, after the big hint from Crafton, Daviess County is going to punt it away with 4:52 left before halftime. High snap, but it's fielded well. Cats nearly got a hand on it. That was Crafton back there again. Ball takes a very friendly bounce for Daviess County inside the 15 down to the 11-yard line of Franklin Simpson, who will be pinned to start this drive.
It's a good roll, and that's one thing about Brady. I don't know if he wants to, if he doesn't catch it clean, fair catch it clean, I don't know if he's going to try to get it off the bounce. You can't fair catch it off the bounce, so, I think they just want him back there fair catching it most of the time, which it really helps the field position, but that time it was a disadvantage.
4:42 left in the second quarter. Cats have stalled a bit since they had the 2 touchdowns to start the game in the first quarter, both on very short drives. One a 25-yard drive, one a 4-yard drive after an interception. They'll start this drive with a handoff up the middle. Trying to bounce out right side as Anderson slips away at the last moment. Excuse me, that's McPherson.
Pearson on the carry for the Wildcats.
It looked, I couldn't see the jersey. I thought it was Colin from the shiftiness. That was Blake pulling out some of those jukes there. Was able to make something out of what looked like nothing at first. Picks up 9 out to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like Blake is really, from that opening kickoff and that run right there, it looks like he has gotten a lot shiftier. Not that he wasn't slow or anything last year,
it's
but
not,
you just
he's
grow.
still fast, and you obviously get faster, but it's that ability to change direction and some of those jump cuts. We're seeing a lot more of those from him now. As Anderson goes into motion on 2nd and 1, they go to Alford up the middle. Gets just enough for the first down, still driving forward. Gets close to the 25-yard line. They needed a yard, and Lane picked up 5.
Yeah, I'd like to see stats sometime about if the Wildcats get one first down, the percentage of them scoring. I mean, they have the momentum right here on offense just from those first 2 plays. They had a surge up front. They were able to move the football, and they built that confidence, which is very important whenever you start a drive.
1st and 10 at the 25-yard line, 4:10 left in the quarter. Delk fakes a handoff, rolling to his right. Wants to throw. Out route, sliding catch attempt from Perry to no avail. Was just behind him a bit.
Yeah, Brody Perry, I think he's the number 1 wide receiver target, and I think he ran a good route, but the ball just a little bit short on him. Maybe ran too far. I don't know how far he was supposed to run, but he had space, but the ball didn't get to him.
They bring in Kason Groves at receiver again on 2nd and 10. Clock frozen at 4:03. Cats right in the middle of the field. Now 0 for 6 through the air in this ball game. Delk under center, Alford behind him. Wingbacks each way. Anderson comes into motion. They fake it to him, go to Alford up the middle again, driving his way forward for a gain of 5.
Something you're able to see from Lane compared to other backs. He may not have, be as hard of it. I think he's an incredibly hard hitter, but he's got a little bit more shiftiness.
He does.
Than some of the, and that's the reason he's played one of the wing backs on occasion. A lot of times it's the block, but sometimes he does get the ball on an end around or something like that. But he's able to make some guys miss on that just fullback carry to bring up 3rd and 5.
We talked about Gavin Dickerson earlier, but he's a bit of a different back.
Yeah.
From Gavin. He'll still hit you hard, but he's got to build up momentum
Yeah.
to drive into you. But like you said, he's got a little bit more ability in open space and can be a little bit more shifty down there in the trenches. Cats do go shotgun here on 3rd and 5, but a flag comes in from the from the secondary before the play. Back judge, I believe, got a false start there. Or no, it's a delay of game. I thought for a second he was motioned for a false start. I said, I don't know how the back judge called that.
Yeah.
But again, it's the same issue we saw for Davis County. Just tough to judge that when the back judge is the one counting it down.
Well, at least here, sometimes you got to say, I know this is a neutral site game, but a lot of stadiums you go to and they got that clock in the end zone, it's controlled by somebody from the home team, and we've been places where it's like, okay, they started that way too quick, and it's all one-sided. At least they're calling it consistent on both sides.
Cats will stay in the gun. 2 wide receivers left, 1 right. Delt gets the snap. He's rolling to his left. Clean pocket. Time to throw. Hurls it deep to Anderson. Couldn't bring it in over the shoulder. Would have been a tough catch to make. The throw was great.
Oh, yeah.
Just a tough grab. Made a similar one in the first scrimmage against Ohio County over the shoulder down the sideline. Was a spectacular catch. That one would have been just as good and might have been able to operate in some open space. That ball, if you look at the air distance it's traveled, at least 50 yards that ball hung up there.
He launched that pigskin down there, and he threw it to where only Colin had a chance to catch it, but just couldn't get it.
Punt is a shorter one, and it spins straight out of bounds at the 48-yard line of Franklin Simpson. So Davis County able to avoid that big play again. That's what we talked about earlier. It's been a lot of bend, don't break for this defense when they were put into spots earlier where they really had no choice but to break because of where they had to start. I'd say overall tough to not be impressed with Davis County on the defensive side of the ball so far.
Yeah, they're playing well. A lot of it's mistakes of the Wildcats, just missed blocks, and I think if they clean that up, it can be a much better second half. I think you're sometimes just one block away from scoring big.
Davis County with great starting field position. They put Hunt in the backfield here, but they give it to Maisie up the middle, and he is met by 3, make it 4 Wildcats, and dropped for a loss.
Yeah, he can't go anywhere. Oh my goodness! Every time number 10 gets the ball in the backfield for Davis County, it's just he's tackled immediately.
He's had 6 carries for a net negative 8 yards.
Yeah, has he had any runs where he gained yards?
He's had a 1-yard run and a 2-yard run.
Yeah, everything else has been a loss.
Correct.
Yeah.
They have had so far 6 runs go for loss, only 5 gained yards, with the one big play, the 37-yard carry from Hunt. He's in the slot on the right side with that trip set. Here on 2nd and 13, ticking towards 2 minutes left in the opening half as a flag comes in, and we have another delay of game.
And I was going to call that right before this play. For whatever reason, the offensive play caller for Davis County he's not even where the quarterback was. So the quarterback had to go almost to Franklin Simpson's side to even talk to his play caller. Now it looks like they're rotating wide receivers in to give the play, and so hopefully for Davis County and their sake, they won't get as many delay of game penalties.
So now it's 2nd and 18, ball back to the 43-yard line of Davis County after they started in Franklin Simpson territory. Marker takes the shotgun snap. He's flushed out to the right side. Crafton in pursuit. And the ball's dropped off at the last moment and falls incomplete. Threw it behind his receiver. Either way, it would have been a loss if it was caught. So I think fortunate that it falls incomplete.
Yeah, and they would have kept the clock running, which I don't know if they would have wanted the clock to stop right now. 1:55 left to go before halftime. I don't know if Davis County is even interested in trying to score, but maybe just getting into halftime and seeing what happens.
It's 3rd and 18 right now, potentially helping the Franklin Simpson offense if they can finish off a stop here. They keep going to this same formation. They like trips to the far side. When the ball's on the left hash, they like to line up those 3 wide receivers on the right. If they have the ball on the right hash, they like to bring them over to the left. Hunt is the nearest to his quarterback. Looking to throw is Barker. He's trying to go deep to Hunt over the top. Delt got a hand on it, nearly picked it off, broke underneath it. Barker didn't see him for a second. Was a great play by Brady coming out of that safety spot, nearly picked it off. but it falls incomplete.
And Larry Hunt was he was behind the defensive backs, and if he had a little bit more muscle on that arm and was able to air it out a little bit more, then that would have been a scary play. I'm interested to see if Franklin Simpson's going to bring pressure. They've been able to get in the backfield, just one guy. But
I mentioned Jackson Crafton. He could easily have, if we had the pressure stats, he's got 4 or 5. Nearly got back there and blocked the punt last time. Junior punter Asher Hendricks will boot it away for Davis County on 4th and 18. Clock frozen at 1:50. Cats don't bring too much after it as the punt goes down the left side and out of bounds. Nearly hit the heel of a Wildcat. I was worried that it might ricochet off and Davis County could get a loose ball. Fortunately, it heads out of bounds, and they mark it right at the 30. And that's where Franklin Simpson will take over. 1:42 to work with. It's been a scoreless second quarter both ways, but Anderson goes into motion right to left. They pitch it out to him on the left side. A very good pull that time by Caden Bennett. And Collin gets out of bounds just short of the 40. We'll see where they ultimately marked. He stepped out. Line of gain was the 40-yard line. Officials playing hot potato right now with that football. And they'll put it just short of the 40. That was a gain of 9 3/4 yards.
And that's a good 2-minute drive play. You know, toss it to the outside, see if you can gain some yards. And if you can gain some yards, maybe you'll take a shot here on a 2nd and 1 and see what you can get. I think the Wildcats still have all 3 timeouts.
Groves is the receiver on the right side. They do run play action. Groves stops on a comeback route. Throw is loaded. Kaysen reel it in. He did. And there's the first completion. That one a first down, 10-yard gainer for the Cats. And most importantly, you got to figure a little bit of a confidence builder for Brady back there at quarterback.
Yeah, it is. The Wildcats look like they're not in too much of a hurry, not going to no huddle. I don't know this early in the season if you put it in, but that clock's ticking. It starts earlier than it used to. As soon as the ball's set, they start ticking that clock.
1:10 left before halftime. Anderson goes into motion. They fake the pitch, go up the middle. McPherson tries to get up the midfield, got a yard, but that clock's still running, and now I think we get a timeout coming in from Franklin Simpson.
I think they're just trying to position for a field goal, which will put you in a good position as well.
Brady comes out in the gun. Empty backfield, 2 up backs, 2 wide receivers left side. He rolls out to his left, looking. Now he's going to tuck it, decides to run with it, picks up a few. Good play not to force anything downfield. Gains 3 on the ground, but that clock's still ticking.
Yeah.
Now with 45 seconds left. Ball at the 47. Franklin Simpson not showing too much hurry up here. Inside 40 seconds. It's a 3rd and 6. And I think here the entire mentality, Tyler, they're just waiting to see how this play unfolds.
Yeah. So, not rushing it because you don't want to give Davis County a lot of
Delk's
time
in the
left
gun
on the
again.
clock.
Same formation. They flipped it to have 2 wide receivers on the right. Brady rolls that way, pumps once, wants to fling it deep down the left side. Jump ball. Was it caught? It is.
Got it.
Contested catch. 1-on-1. Clock stops for now. With 16 seconds, Brody Perry with his first catch of the season. and it's a big one.
Oh, we talking about Jace Hunt climbing the ladder and able to get up there and catch the football. Man, Brody Perry, the sophomore for
one way or another. Delk will be under center. One wide receiver each way. Takes the snap. Drops back to throw. They want to fade on the right side. Jump ball to Groves. Ton of contact. The defender never turned around to see the ball, but they don't throw the flag. They say it was clean.
Oh, that's a terrible no call. I want to give the officials benefit of the doubts, but when you got this many guys on your crew, you got to call that. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that should have been.
When Charles Lewis is calling for a flag here, he's a Warren East guy running the clock. If he's calling for a flag, you know it's a flag.
I mean, I try to be unbiased and, give the, I
We saw that many times last year. It's been a point of emphasis as if there's no attempt to look back and make a play on the ball. More often than not, they've been making that call. And there was definitely contact before it got there. As Franklin Simpson is going to have to get this one off pretty quick, aren't they, Tyler?
Yeah, they got to hurry up.
They get the snap off in time. Brady drops back, pressured from behind, gets the throw off. It's another fade and an athletic leaping interception in the end zone by Jace Hunt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you were trying to get a pass interference or what, but the ball was a little bit underthrown.
It was the same type of play we saw, except
play.
This time it was up to Kaysen.
Yeah.
And that time they shaded the safety over in Hunt.
Yeah, they rolled him over his double coverage, and I don't know if Brady knew he was going. He gave him a chance to get the ball, but you got to come back and fight for it.
6.7 seconds left in the half. What a swing there. Looked like it should have been pass interference in the end zone, and instead a fantastic leaping interception from Hunt. Fortunately for Franklin Simpson, he gets a touch and fell down immediately for a touchback. We'll see if Davis County runs one more play or if they just down it here.
Yeah.
Seems like that's what Franklin Simpson's expecting, and that's exactly what happens. Davis County makes another stand on defense after giving up a couple of short touchdown drives in the first quarter. Both teams go scoreless in the second 12 minutes, but through the first half of play in the season opener for Franklin Simpson, they lead Davis County 14-0. We're going to step away. When we come back, we'll get you all the stats from this first half of play and then look around the area and see what scores we can provide. Again, your score at the half, Franklin Simpson 14, Davis County 0. You're listening to Franklin Simpson Football on 92.3 WFKN. No, I'm good. I think we can roll with the schedule here. Simpson as Davis County. Game 2 of the J. Allen Builders Bowl here on the Smurf Turf, as they call it, Jim Ross Field at Warren East High. Franklin Simpson leading it 14-0 at the break, scoring both touchdowns in the first quarter. The first on a 25-yard touchdown drive that was set up on an excellent kickoff return from Blake McPherson. The second, just a 4-yard touchdown drive that was set up by a great pick and return by Jackson Gass. Tyler Eaton joined by Tyler Arterburn as we run through the numbers in this opening half. First for Davis County, the passing numbers pretty easy. 0 for 7, an interception through the air for Garrison Barker. There have been some opportunities, especially as that second quarter went on, Tyler, where Hunt was able to break loose a couple of times, couldn't quite connect. FS has done a pretty good job keying in on him, but you've got to figure in the second half, especially with the lack of success in the run game that we'll talk about in a moment, it's going to be a heavy dose of Jace Hunt in this second 24 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have a player that's that dynamic, you got to find ways to get them the football.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, any NFL team, any college team, you got your best player. You got a player that's putting up, able to put up film like he does. You just want to get the ball in his hands every time. Now, Franklin Simpson has done a great job.
Yep.
Kind of like in basketball where you can guard a guy, box him one, whatever. They've done something similar to that. Double coverage him and, made the RPO to where you're not getting it to the guy. So defensively, Franklin Simpson has done really good, but you still just got to be nervous that he's going to get the football a little bit more in the second half. Don't go to sleep on him, because we saw whenever you can go to sleep on him, he can run for 37 yards.
Well, speaking of that, this tells you how important Hunt is and how dynamic he is. He touched the ball one time in that first half offensively, a 37-yard run. The rest of the team combined, 10 carries, 1 yard lost. Gatlin Maisie, the star running back, who averaged 6 yards a carry last year, almost 600 yards on the ground, averaged almost 80 per game over the last 7 games that he played in. 6 carries, 8 yards lost. The quarterback, Garrison Barker, 3 carries, 2 yards lost. A couple of sacks for the Wildcats in that first half. 1 for Aiden Jones and Jackson Crafton, and the other one, Jackson chasing down all by himself. On the offensive side for the Cats, 26 carries, 100 yards on the dot, 2 touchdowns. The most productive back has been Colin Anderson, 8 carries for 44 yards, so exactly at 5.5 yards per carry, but that's far short of the 8 yards per carry that we saw him average last season. 9 touches, 32 yards, and 2 one-yard touchdowns for Lane Alford. 8 carries, 21 yards for Blake McPherson. And Tyler, I figure this is the balance we're going to see all year long. You look at this first half, Blake 8 carries, Colin 8 carries, Lane Alford 9 carries. Not as many big plays, and maybe that's something the Cats are going to look to break things open a bit with some more outside runs in this second half, but only 1 yard for negative, or 1 rush for negative yardage in that Wildcat run game in the first half.
And I just think on a lot of plays, it's not just, you talk about blocking, it's not just the line. You got wide receivers and the other running backs and tight ends that are blocking as well, but there have been so many plays where you're 1 block away from getting a first down or a long run. If the Wildcats can come out this second half and just shore those things up, they can totally take over this game.
2 for 11 through the air as Brady dealt 40 yards and an interception, had a 30-yard completion to Brody Perry and a 10-yard completion to Kason Groves. Franklin Simpson leading 14-0 at halftime here at Warren East High School. We'll step away when we come back. We get you some scores from around the area. A busy night as we get the regular season underway in South Central Kentucky. Our score at the break, 14-0. FS leads it over Davis County here on 92.3 WFKN. Leading it over Daviess County. Tyler Eaton, Tyler Arterburn with you at halftime. Got about 5 minutes left before we get the second half of action underway. And before we get there, Tyler, a lot of games going on in the area. Don't know if we've had any surprises so far. It's tough to judge what you would call a surprise this early into the season. But what scores do we have from a lot of this bowl game action where across the area you're seeing a lot of situations like this with these doubleheaders?
Yeah, you have Warren Central is beat Russellville 8-6. Allen County Scottsville handled Marion County 48-21. That game was played at Greenwood. Glasgow beat LaRue County 40 points to 7 points. LaRue County. And then Warren East, the game before this, beat Christian County on their own Smurf turf, 55-6.
I'd say if you asked most people, although I saw the rankings that came out, as the Courier-Journal will always ask media coaches coming into the season for their rankings. In the class, they had Hart County all the way up at number 5, although if you ask a lot of the people that are closer to the area and know who's been lost, what players are coming up for a team, most people would tell you this district is probably going to be between Franklin Simpson and Glasgow this year. Hart County just lost a ton, but man, that's a team that I've got a feeling is going to have a chip on their shoulder hearing all the noise about everything that they lost from last year.
Well, I heard, from talking to some of the coaches, they have 8 returning starters on that dynamic offense. Adair County as well. I think Adair County.
They bring back that great quarterback.
Well, Adair County got a new quarterback that transferred from Glasgow. And then they had a couple of other kids transfer in from some other schools, some, high-ranking athletes. I don't know if they're 3-4 stars or anything like that, but some college-level players. Not at the college level, but they will play at college someday, just transferring into Adair County. And they had that great offensive line and defensive line last year as well. They're going to be a team to beat in this district.
And what we saw last year was every game in the district was a dogfight.
Yeah, it was.
And I think it's going to be the exact same way this season. But it all starts tonight as you build up that journey. Moving over the course of the season, Franklin Simpson 9-3 last year, went 3-1 in the district. A disappointing end to the year with a 1-point loss at Union County in the second round of the playoffs. They've improved every year under head coach Max Cheney from 3 wins to 5 wins to 7 wins to 9 wins. What they do in year 5 starts here tonight. Up 14-0 at halftime, but Daviess County will get the ball to start the second half when we come back right after this. You're listening to Franklin Simpson Football on 92.3 WFKN.
right there in the action. I mean, you're right there close. A stadium like Russellville, you're almost right on the field. I mean, in the stadium, I mean, the stadium basically even goes into the field at the corner of the end zone. But, that's the only negative part about it.
And the big thing here at Warren East is it's built really with that being actually a priority because they have such a prestigious track and field program.
Yeah.
Just an excellent team. You see year in, year out. They're up there in cross country and track as well. We haven't quite had ourselves a track meet tonight. Maybe that turns around in the second half of play. They're going to get things going a little early. Davis County will receive the kickoff, trailing at 14-0 to these Franklin Simpson Wildcats, who scored 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. And realistically, Tyler, is now I think they're actually just going to make the players stand here. Everybody's set up with a minute left on the clock, and they're going to make them watch that thing tick down all the way to 0 again. FS offensively, nothing really stands out. I don't think there's a huge negative, but it's hard to really pin down a huge positive so far. But it's going to reach a point with all the dynamic playmakers on the other side, and as well as the Franklin Simpson defense has played, you can only rely on that for so long without getting some production going offensively.
Yeah, I'd like to see a good, long, sustained drive. The 2 scoring drive for Franklin Simpson were 25 yards and 4 yards. I'd like to see a good, long drive sustained.
McAllister's kickoff comes down the left side. It's muffed initially, now recovered at the 10-yard line, up the middle across the 20 to the 25-yard line. That's the second time number 4 for Davis County has had a return. We went all week, Tyler, trying to figure out what the roster was, who was what number. They finally got the official roster up today, and would you believe it? There's no number 4.
Yeah, isn't it wonderful? and I'd say this, Davis County, I was telling you this, Tyler, but, in their 2 scrimmages that they played, the players were wearing different numbers, and that is intentional to throw off the opposing team so they don't know who's who, and the roster came out today, so it's been a mess. But, Franklin Simpson has had it as a chip on their shoulder and came out and played aggressive from the get.
Coach Cheney said when they've got number 3 at nose guard, you can tell they're playing tricks on you. As before the opening play of the drive, we get a false start call, and I believe that might have been up front after the motion. They've done this a couple of times just to try to get Hunt involved. They've started moving him into the backfield. The last couple of times they've done it, he hasn't even gotten the ball. They do it here and can't even get the snap off, and instead of starting at their 24, it's 1st and 15 at Davis County's 19-yard line. Looks like they're going to try the same thing here, and they do. Hunt comes into motion, now stands to the right side of the quarterback. Macy on his left hip. They hand it off. Nope, they fake the handoff to Macy. Pitch it outside to Hunt. Is surrounded by Wildcats. Lost the football. Jumped back on it quickly. But that time, Franklin Simpson does a great job of preventing the big play. And I don't know if anybody except for me up here in the booth fell for that fake to Macy. Franklin Simpson, no matter what, was keyed in there on Hunt.
Yeah, they were. And the defensive end on this side, though, got a little squeezed in. And I got a little bit nervous that Hunt was going to be able to break free. But the linebackers did a great job flowing. Everybody played their responsibilities. Great job by this Franklin Simpson defense this evening.
They put Hunt back in the slot on the right side. Again with the ball on the left hash. They go trips right side. 1 wide receiver left. Running back Mazy on the right hip of his quarterback, who now in there at quarterback, I want to note, is Remy Davis, who throws a deep ball, and his first pass is an interception right into the breadbasket near midfield of Blake McPherson. Returns it up to the 38-yard line. We talked about this coming into the game.
This isn't good, and there's a player hurt.
There's
really
a player
bad
down
Davis
at the
County.
40, and now showing some movement. He's got that left arm that he's moving back and forth. Now they try to pick him up.
I think it may just be a cramp, but he looked down like
he went down quick.
Okay.
And stayed down. But now Caden Tierney came in there for Davis County, tried to pick him up immediately. Now they're going to let him lay down for a second. It does look like it was just a cramp. But we talked about this earlier. We saw Remy Davis play in the scrimmages. On that first play, we don't really get to see anything from the quarterback because so much motion, and they finally get the play off on the second try. Davis, the left-handed senior backup quarterback, comes in to start this second half, and his first pass attempt results in the exact same thing that Barker's did, a little bit deeper downfield this time, with an interception, a throw into double coverage. And like I said, it looked like Blake was waiting there trying to field a punt.
Yeah, and Jackson Crafton had incredible pressure on the quarterback right there. And, you saw both quarterbacks play a pretty even amount in the scrimmages, and Daviess and Barker. And Daviess seemed like he was a little bit more composed in the pocket, but he
and
he had
trying to see,
confidence
that
in
was
his
Hunt that was down. He's back up and trotting off the field. Very good news on the Davis County side. They can sigh a huge breath of relief, at least for now. And when I went back and I watched that tape in the Glasgow scrimmage, which I believe was their first one, Jason had 2 catches for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the thing that I texted you about watching that tape was, who is this number 9, the left-handed guy that's in there at quarterback? That's not who we thought would be the starter. He threw both those touchdowns. And, again, I referenced this earlier. Coach Chaney thought from the film he was the better pure passer, while Barker had more that he could do with his legs. Franklin Simpson takes advantage as we get back underway at the Davis County 39-yard line after the interception. Anderson nearly broke free up the middle, but got wrapped up at the last moment at the 35-yard line. Fell forward to the 34 for a gain of 5 to start the drive.
It looks like there's an injury on Franklin Simpson, maybe another cramp. First game of the season. I know it's not as hot as you would imagine for it to be on August 23rd, but nonetheless, these guys, get that pickle juice in you, big fella.
That's Jacob Spears, the young sophomore. He and Parker Chaney, the 2 youngest players on that offensive line, stepping into more full-time roles this year. Looks like, speaking of young players, freshman Donovan Dudley is going to take his spot for this play at least.
I mean, Donovan's got good size. What's he listed
6 foot 230 is just a freshman. And you look at Parker Chaney in there at center, you can tell he's a Chaney. 6'3", 284.
Yeah.
Biggest man they've got in there at center. Alford the fullback. Anderson goes into motion left to right. They fake it to him. Alford up the middle, trying to surge up to the 30. Line of gain is the 29. I think they chopped him down at the 31-yard line for a gain of 3, so it'll be 3rd and 2.
Yeah, that's a good two good plays to start out this drive for Franklin Simpson. Now you got to capitalize on this drive. This will be if they are able to convert, this will be the longest scoring drive of the game. So let's see if the Wildcats have shored up those mistakes and are able to punch this in.
3rd and 2. 2 minutes gone in this second half. Franklin Simpson up 14-0, taking over again with good field position thanks to the interception from Blake McPherson. Alford's arc to the right side. They pitch it out to the left side. Anderson, he's got some room across the 30. Bolts forward to the 25, down to the 20. Big gainer on 3rd and short for a first down.
And I'll call him out. He missed a lot of blocks in the first half, but he made up for it right there. Caden Bennett pulling out as the left guard on the left edge, leading the way. Was able to help get that first down. An incredible block as he's able to spring the runner free.
I'm sure he'll appreciate half of that.
Yeah.
Ball at the 21-yard line, so not quite in the red zone, but a 1st and 10. Ball now on the left hash. Love that formation with Lane out to the right to kind of distract and then pitch it out to the left. They've got him back behind Delk here. They give it to McPherson running left to right. Waits for his blocker, slips through a slight hole. Gets forward for a gain of a few. Just a good patient run to get what he can. And now another Panther down on the far side. Looks like it may be another cramp, or I can't tell if he's grabbing the knee or down around the ankle.
Think about a turf field as well. You see a lot more.
You do.
Knee injuries. Not saying that this is one, but you do see a lot more of those because the ground doesn't have any give.
Yeah.
Natural grass field, if you plant your foot, the grass is going to move a little bit. Turf doesn't move. So then your knee moves.
And this is a Davis County team. While Franklin Simpson is decently limited in the players they've got, a bit more depth, especially if you look at the overall roster size this year compared to last year. Things post-COVID are starting to build up with getting your numbers back. I don't know if we'll ever see quite quote-unquote normal numbers, but especially you look at this year, 23 freshmen on this team, officially 15 sophomores, 15 juniors. It's really that senior class where things are starting to build up post-COVID again. Davis County cannot really afford, if you look at the guys that they've got listed as playing based off of who they gave heights and weights for and positions, they're not realistically in a spot, despite being a 6A team, where they can afford to have many guys go down.
Yeah, and they only dress what looks like one freshman, so that's you don't see. They got more freshmen, but they just don't dress them, which is interesting to see. I mean, looks like they got enough numbers that they could have given everybody a jersey, but for whatever reason, that's a coach's decision.
That's defensive tackle Carlos Cardenas that's being helped off the field.
That looks like more than a cramp.
He's not putting his right leg on the ground at all. It looked like to me initially he went down for the ankle.
It doesn't even look like.
But I can't tell if it's knee or ankle. It just looks overall like, there is no way it being put on that right leg. No. So we'll see how much they work on him over on that sideline. But as they get him off the field, play will resume. 8:48 left and ticking in this third quarter. 2nd and 7.
Big play here for the Wildcats.
Franklin Simpson at the 23-yard line. Multiple men go into motion. They go up the middle. McPherson running hard, lowers the shoulder, rattles a man, and gets inside the 10, down near the 5. I think they got him just short of it at the 6.
That's a big play for the Wildcats because that was an important momentum play right there. We hadn't had drives that have been sustained. This is looking like a sustained drive,
yes.
And now the Wildcats are subbing guys in, getting that heavy package in there where you call it where you have 3 fullbacks, and they're going to look to punch it in. You got 4 plays to get 6 yards.
And again, they do it. It's a hybrid with 2 fullbacks and 1 running back in McPherson, who gets it up the middle as the last man through. And I think we're going to see another opportunity at the 1. They might have marked him down at the 2. We'll see what the official spot is.
All right. I think that's a rough spot for the Wildcats.
They've got it all the way back at the 3.
Yeah.
So gain of 3 for Blake up the middle.
Now you got 3 plays to get 3 yards. I mean, you like
both
those
touchdowns
odds.
have been 1 yard so far. They fake it to Alford, go to the second man through. Is it enough? No, again. Down at the 1 yard line. This time it's Aiden Jones.
Going in from defensive tackle to fullback, and he's wearing that number 30 because that's his position, but he also plays defensive tackle. And it just probably one of the strongest sophomores, ranking up there, one of the strongest guys on the team.
Kaysen Hemshoot in there is one of those fullbacks. Delt gets it, hands it off to Alford, splits through everyone in lanes, got his 3rd touchdown of the day, all of them from a yard out.
There you go, Lane Alford, just the power back, running it in, that old school fullback. The thing I love most about Franklin Simpson football is they have always, in the past several years, had that old school pounded in their fullback. This year it's Lane Alford with his 3rd touchdown.
And that kind of showcased what Lane brings to the table that might be different from some of the fullbacks we've seen years past. It was a little bit more of a squeeze through rather than a barrel through, but got through the hole, punched it in for 6, and McAllister punches in the extra point, and it's 21-0 Franklin Simpson. 7:02 left in the 3rd quarter. You're listening to Wildcat Football on 92.3 WFKN. All right, yeah, we'll do 30 here. That results in points for Franklin Simpson to start this second half. 21-0. They take advantage of the interception from Blake McPherson with another 1-yard touchdown run from Lane Alford. Davis County returns the kickoff out to the 26-yard line, and that's where they'll take over, trailing at 21-0. Just under 7 minutes left in this 3rd quarter. You said, Tyler Arterburn, you wanted a sustained drive from Franklin Simpson offensively to start this second half. That was the closest to that definition that we've had so far today.
Yeah, you had 8 plays, only 39 yards, which Wildcats have gotten really good field position on their scoring drive. But nonetheless, they were able to run 8 plays on a drive, which they had a drive earlier where you had 8 plays and they had turned it over on downs, but just a good start. And what I'm seeing that I like is, they corrected a lot of the mistakes from the first half. A lot of the missed blocks, one block away on several plays. They shored that up and were able to have a good drive.
Hunt goes into motion on first down. It is still Remy Davis, the left-hander, in there at quarterback. Tries to go to Hunt underneath on a quick out, and it's incomplete. So they have still, between the two quarterbacks, 9 pass attempts, 2 interceptions, no completions.
Wow.
Sets up a 2nd and 10 from the 26-yard line. 36 yards on the ground for Davis County.
And that's just incredible with how many times they've thrown the ball to not have completed a pass.
2 wide receivers left, 2 wide receivers right. And before the play, I should say just after the snap, the flag comes in for an illegal motion against Davis County. And they've had a lot of pre-snap penalties, a lot of delays of game in this ball game. Penalty yardage has racked up to where I can tell you with confidence more penalty yardage in this game for Davis County than they've produced offensively.
And I truly think on offense they're trying to, be cutesy and, run all this RPO stuff instead of keeping it simple. And hey, the guys out there for Davis County are just they got athletes, but they just look confused out there on all these motions and what to do and whatnot instead of just lining up playing football.
2 wide receivers each way. Hunt goes motion left to right. He's now in the slot on the right side. They use motion to give him a head start. Pump fake from the quarterback, Davis, flushed out to his right. This time he's looking to run. Picks up a good amount of yardage down the right side. Might have been able to get back to the original line of scrimmage for this drive at the 26-yard line. They'll actually give him the 27, so it'll be 3rd and 9 from there.
You're talking about the starting quarterback Barker being able to run a little bit more, but Davis looked
he looked good on his feet there.
He looked like he picked up positive yards and a 6-yard gain on a 2nd and 15. You can't argue too much with that.
2 wide receivers left, 2 wide receivers right. Hunt in the slot on the left side. Davis looking right, throws that way, had a man, but put too much on that one. Through the fingertips of Josh Coffey.
Brings up 4th down.
And I don't know if Davis County's going to change or they're just ready to get back to Owensboro or not, but they're not playing with any urgency at all. I just don't know what their motivation is right now. But Franklin Simpson, even when you see that, you can't let off the gas.
New head coach for the first time in 20 years as Matt Brannon stepped away. We mentioned Anthony Payton stepping over. You can see that arena football, indoor football league, modern football influence on this offense, and that is tough to implement in one off season of work. Punt, again, is a pretty good one. Takes a very friendly bounce for Davis County into Franklin Simpson territory across the 40 down to the 35-yard line, and the Cats will start there leading at 21-0 with 5:27 left in the 3rd quarter. I'll tell you what, Asher Hendricks back there at punter might be the bright takes over. They officially mark it at the 36-yard line. Delk under center. Anderson goes into motion. A lot of confusion on that play, it looked like, to start, as a legal motion or a false start. One of the two could have been either or, might have been both against Franklin Simpson before that play.
Yeah, and I think Franklin Simpson caught a break because I don't know.
It was busted either way.
I don't know if Brady handled the snap on it. It just, again, the Franklin Simpson can't let off the gas right here. Davis County, they're maybe one play away from getting back into this game, and you just got to keep. You got guys cramping. I know it's first game, but you got to push through and finish this one.
Delk will go back under center. Alford behind him. They fake it to Lane, go to Anderson running right, hit hard. Great tackle, but a flag comes in. They might get helmet to helmet on Hunt, although it looked like he tried to lower the shoulder at least a little bit. It was a hard hit. I don't know if that's the call is going to be, but that's when the flag came in. But they're going to call a hold. So it was at the exact same time, although we saw that earlier where the officials have actually been a little delayed with those holding calls. It looked to me like it was a clean hit from Hunt. He has made some really good tackles out of the secondary.
Looks like there's another injury for Daviess County, but yeah, I mean, he's using that speed on defense, playing safety and coming up ready to hit you, and he just looks like an all-around great football player.
And they do officially call the hold on Franklin Simpson. That'll walk it back 10 more yards.
And that's not what you want for this drive. You never want to go backwards because of penalties, but
little surprised in that spot they take it because it might have been for a loss or a very little gain, but I guess in the spot Daviess County is in, offense has hardly been able to move the ball. You want to try to help them as much as you can.
Yeah.
And now penalties have become their best friend all of a sudden. It's 1st and 25. Delk fakes it up the middle, gives it up to McPherson. Nice spin move to get away from the first man at the 20-yard line down to the 22. So did all that just to pick up one.
And now a late flag coming in. I don't know if it's going to be a late hit. Just it was something after the play. Somebody was a little bit dirty, but I
believe Blake is still down.
Oh, man.
Trying to roll through all the numbers of who's up to make sure that's him. Can't quite tell from here, Tyler, unless you can, if that is the 6 up on the shoulder pad.
Yeah, I believe it is.
And it is a personal foul against Daviess County. I think, like you noted, came in and hit Blake late.
Yeah, that's uncalled for. You don't want to get guys hurt. I mean, Franklin Simpson didn't retaliate. I don't know if anybody on front. I think a lot of the guys are walking back to the huddle. That's how late it was.
Blake's up and walking off the field. A little shaken up, but doesn't look like, at least at the moment, that it's too serious. We'll monitor it. He's going to come out of the game for now. As he just steps back behind the rest of his guys, he's going to walk it off down the sideline, probably more frustrated than anything after that.
Yeah, for me as a player, that if I had one of my star players getting cheap shot on my leg, I'd be a little fired up right now. Let's see how Franklin Simpson responds.
Well, it's 2nd and 10 after the penalty, so got all the offensive penalty yardage back. Delk sends a man into motion. That's Xavier Hampton in there for McPherson. And the snap is fumbled, and Delk just has to fall right on it.
Yeah,
I don't know there. Maybe you've got the vantage point, or if that was a snap or a handling issue.
You can't tell from this angle. You got to kind of be behind the center to see, if he puts it up there high enough. But kind of look, if I had to guess, that Brady was pulling out just a little bit too early. But either way, you got to work on that.
Kason Groves comes in at receiver for a 3rd and 11. 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Franklin Simpson up 21-0 in this ball game, but tough for either side to find any momentum. There's been a lot of start and stop in this second half. Franklin Simpson looked like got a good jump to get their blocks on this 3rd down play. Now a late flag comes in as it was a pitch out to the right side to Alford. Got a
Yeah, that's Cole
Anderson.
Alford.
Yeah, Cole Alford. They said Anderson over the PA. I knew it was Cole. He got up there to about the 42. Now they've got to mark. The official is standing at the 39-yard line. That's where they're going to walk off the holding penalty from.
Coach Shaney doesn't agree with that holding penalty. I probably wouldn't either. But
I thought, if anything, it might be a false start. That was the best jump off the ball the Franklin Simpson offensive line has had.
Yeah, the guard was pulling, but I think a little bit before if you had to time it up, the guard was pulling before the ball was snapped. So
puts the ball at the 28-yard line. Line of gain is the 46. We have seen now 3 penalties on Franklin Simpson on this drive, a personal foul against Daviess County as well. Add it all up, and it's 3rd and 18 with 3.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
That's interesting, though. They take the penalty because it would have been 4th and 8.
Yeah. Delk under center. Hampton goes into motion. They go up the middle lane all for this time. Burst through on the left side. Gets up near the 40. There was a little extra juice behind that carry.
Oh, yeah. He wanted to knock somebody out on that play. Lane did. And Wildcats look like they're going to punt on this 4th
Lane
down.
picked up 12. It's tied for his biggest carry of the day. Franklin Simpson, 3 carries for double-digit yardage so far in the second half. Only had 2 in the entirety of the first half, but Just had too much ground to pick up there. And with the ball at the 40-yard line, Brody's in there to punt it away. Low snap, but he does a good job of recovering to field it. High kick. Bounces first at the 40, takes a very friendly bounce down inside the 30, and now settles in at around the 31-yard line of Daviess County. Good job there by Brody, one, to field that snap. A, without his knee on the ground while he did it, and two, to get that punt off in time.
It looked like he's wanting a penalty flag for getting hit. I didn't see it, but I was looking at the punt down there, man, all kinds of
there
things
was
were happening.
a defender right in his face as he got it away. But as we've talked about, this team, you said it wonderfully earlier, they are always one play away from getting back into a game.
Oh, yeah.
Two wide receivers both way. As they have Daviess in there at quarterback still. It's a read option, breaks out right side, gets across the 35, 40, 45 into Franklin Simpson territory where he's wrapped up at the 45-yard line of FS.
And Daviess County, what you don't want to see, they're bouncing and they're excited. That was a good run by the quarterback to start in the second half and giving them a little life. The Wildcats need to focus and shut it down.
They mark him down at the 47, so it's a gain of 22. And if the argument was that Barker's the starter because of his legs, I think Daviess has shut that down pretty quickly.
Yes.
In Franklin Simpson territory after the quarterback run. Daviess gets the snap. This time hands it off up the middle. It's going to go for a big gain inside the 40 down to the 35-yard line. Daviess County piecing together some momentum now.
And Franklin Simpson, you got a lot of guys that are going both ways. I'm looking out there, and about 8 or 9 guys are starting offense as well. Then this is the point. They're getting a little gas, so they got to suck in that wind and get in that backfield, play some football.
13-yard carry down to the 34-yard line, ball on the right hash. Daviess County with back-to-back double-digit yardage plays. It's the first time that's happened in this ball game. 1:26 left, third quarter. Daviess in the gun, 2 wide receivers each way. Hands it off up the middle again, and it's another productive carry down inside the 30-yard line. This time, it's Lincoln Hoffman, who came in as the backup running back in the first quarter. The one play that Maisie was out of the game had a 9-yard carry, and there he picks up 6.
It's kind of looking like you're having some of the issues on defense that you were having on offense. Looks like, 1 or 2 guys are not putting forth the best effort, and Daviess County is able to find that and take advantage on this drive.
Hoffman gets back-to-back carries, racks up 19 yards between the two of them. This time they run it left side. It's bounced back inside the 25, down past the 20-yard line. They go back to the bell cow Maisie, and that's his best run of the day. All of a sudden, Daviess County piecing it together, and they're doing it on the ground.
The Wildcats' best hope right now, the quarter's getting close to coming to an end. You want to hold them right here and then catch your breath and get a nice goal line stand. Don't let anything up big right here.
11-yard run there for Gatlin Maisie. After his first 6 carries, he lost 8 yards on. 15 seconds left in this quarter. Trips left side, 1 wide receiver right. Quarterback looking to throw. Looks deep, now tries to drop it underneath. It's nearly picked off. It was a great effort by Caden Bennett to try to jump up there and make a play on it. Overthrew him, overthrew the receiver, and it falls incomplete with 5.8 seconds left in the quarter.
I was talking about Aiden Jones at number 30 playing defensive tackle. Caden Bennett is wearing number 54, starting offensive guard and almost playing a defensive back, an outside linebacker. And whenever you got 4 wide receivers, he's almost like that nickel cornerback. So just a well-rounded athlete, can run and block and can also cover the flats and the pass.
Daviess in the gun with Maisie on his left tip. 3 wide receivers right side, 1 left. 5.8 seconds left in the quarter, 2nd and 10. Daviess looking end zone, throws into double coverage. It's caught. Was he in bounds? He was. Perfect throw, perfect catch. I believe it was Hunt. It was on an out route over two defenders, and there's why. In one pass, we had to have the conversation of why Daviess wasn't out there, put it where only Hunt could get it, and was just able to get the foot down inbounds. Perfect catch in the far right corner of the end zone for Daviess County's first score of the game. And it's their first completion of the game.
Yeah, for first completion, and it's a touchdown.
An 18-yard touchdown to Jace Hunt.
And it couldn't come at a more important time for Daviess County.
PAT is up. It's wide right. A flag came in. It's on Daviess County, so it'll be declined. As Franklin Simpson is able to avoid one more point on the board. But as we come to the end of the third quarter, Daviess County, for really the first time all night, they've got momentum. Their first touchdown of the game, an 18-yard pass from It was a short kick, did a good job just to field it and move forward with it as Franklin Simpson tries to answer. Had a good first drive of this second half, but plagued by penalties and slowed down by injuries on the next drive. Would really like to see what I call a vintage Franklin Simpson drive here to pop the balloon right now on the other side for Panthers. They get a quick stop.
Yeah,
they're starting to feel it.
They're excited. They're moving around. They're their heads are up. They're ready to play. You got to shut them down.
Delk puts Anderson into motion. Instead of pitching it, they go up the middle, and it's a huge hit on the run, knocked straight backwards is McPherson. Didn't see who first connected with him. They give him forward progress to the 34 for a gain of 2, but I tell you, these Panthers are starting to play. And like you said, they seem like they were ready to load the buses and go home. One drive has completely changed the momentum of this ball game.
And football is, as many of you, it's so much about momentum. I mean, it's you can have X's and O's in athletes, but momentum changes things.
They fake it to Lane Alford up the middle. Brady wants to go deep. It's contested in double coverage, and somehow it's caught anyways. This time they call the pass interference. Kason Groves didn't care. Perfect deep ball between two defenders down to the 36-yard line. 30-yard completion for the Cats.
And that's a beautiful play. Just Brady looks so much more confident on that play than he did in the first half. And so I'm excited to see as the season goes on. Just had an incredible fake, step back, launched that football. In case it was face guarded, had somebody in his face, tackling him before he even caught the ball, and he was able to grab that thing and secure it.
Player for Daviess County cramping up on the far side. So we'll get a small break. 21-6 is the FS lead. Now in Daviess County territory at the 36-yard line. Ball on the right hash was a play action to Lane up the middle. Ripped it deep to Kaysen. There were two defenders there. Brady put it between both of them. They interfered, and Kaysen hung on to it anyways. That a little payback for what we thought was a missed pass interference down in the end zone at the into the first half. And if you look at Brady's run now, started the game 0 for 7. But his last 5 throws, a 10-yard completion to Case and a 30-yard completion to Brody Perry. What we thought should have been that missed pass interference, a pick that was the same play, just throwing it to the same spot to see if you get the same result. And now that 30-yard ball, a perfect throw to Case and Groves, really starting to settle in as this game goes on.
Yeah, and Brady's a good kid. I mean, you talk about whenever he had his interview last year as player of the game from playing defense and, just a kid with a good head, a good, solid leader. You knew he was going to settle down. Maybe a little bit of jitters, but, as this game's going to go on, his season's going to go on, he's going to be a special player in that Franklin Simpson blue.
Player of the game, again sponsored this season by Pelican Snowballs of Franklin. We'll see who Coach Chaney brings with him in our postgame. I think he's going to have a few good options, but going to want to bring somebody up after a win, and still some work to do in this ball game, but in a good spot now as they're still tending to that player on the far side. It looked to me, Tyler, like it was a cramp the way that they were initially working on it. Don't know if that's still the case, as now they help him to his feet. Seen a few players go down for both sides in this second half. Don't think we had any injuries in the first half of play.
No, it's it's late at night as I know, and most of you all know, and it's the only time of year, only game you're going to play past 10 o'clock pretty much, and so it's just a different animal.
Appreciate everybody for joining us as we tick towards 10:30 here at Warren East High School. Run on the right side as we get things back underway. Blake McPherson, a hard-nosed run. That time met the defender head-on, picked up 5 to the 31-yard line.
One thing I've liked seeing, one of the main highlights and it's very random, I know, but whenever there have been these injury timeouts, you don't know how players are going to respond because sometimes you get tight, you get it. I feel like Franklin Simpson has responded well out of those long breaks from injuries or timeouts really well this evening.
2nd and 5. Anderson goes into motion. They fake it to everybody. Delk rolling out left, jumping pass, just threw it over Alford. Had him crossing underneath, maybe 7 or 8 yards from the line of scrimmage. Brady tried to stop, jump, and throw it in midair and just had a bit too much on it.
And that's a type of throw where you're going to get on film and, maybe you need to set your feet a little bit more, give him a chance to throw it or to run or something. But, they covered the deep ball well to Daviess County, and that let Lane have a little bit of ability to catch the ball. But Daviess County, even on these play action fakes, they're still covering the pass fairly well.
3rd and 5. Playbook's wide open here for the Cats. Alford moves over from behind Delk to his right. They pitch it out left side. McPherson has a hole, gets across the 25, inside the 20, and moves the chains for the Cats.
I think Blake does a really good job of sometimes he knows when to wait and see if his blocks are going to set up, and then sometimes he just puts his foot in the dirt or the turf or the Smurf turf and he just takes off. And that's a time where Blake did that. He wasn't waiting for his blockers. He just taking off and going.
It's been all Blake on the ground here in the second half. We talked about that split in the first half. Blake with 8 carries, Colin Anderson 8, 9 for Lane Alford. So far in the second half, Blake's got 7, Colin with 2, Lane with 3.
The Wildcats are going to struggle getting this play off. It's already counting down. Got 5 seconds left. It's going to be a struggle.
Brady checking, now gets under center. They just get the snap off. They go up the middle to Alford, gets a push from behind to get maybe an extra yard. And they mark it down at the 17-yard line for a gain of 2.
You had an injury for the Wildcats coming off, getting subs. A lot of times you tell a guy, if you're coming out and you're injured, just get down, and then you got time to substitute people in. But you had a late substitution, a late huddle, and, they barely got that one off.
9 minutes left in the game and ticking. 21-6 lead, looking to add to it here in the red zone. That big set with 3 backs all lined up behind Delk, and the whistle blows before the handoff. And the Wildcats moved early. False start. Walk it back 5 yards to the 22-yard line.
And that's definitely not what you want, going backwards again. And Now you're in second down and 13, and you can still run. I think the will do that. I think that's what they're going to stick to.
Aiden Jones, Lane Alford, and Blake McPherson in there at running back. They go to Lane as the second man through, slips past the first tackler. Barrels down inside the 20 again. We'll see if they give him the 18 or the 17-yard line. Going to be third and medium for this Franklin Simpson offense. Picks up 5 down to the 17. Third and 8.
Of all the guys we're talking about cramping up and injuring, we're not talking about Lane Alford, and he is not. He doesn't look tired, and he looks in mid-season form.
He would run it every play if it was up to him.
Oh yeah, being the leader that he is, he's just an impressive player. I love watching Lane play.
Brady back under center, fakes to the first man through, ran into Blake, now throws one as there's contact on the far side. Ball falls incomplete. There was a fight for it as
I think he just ruled that incidental contact. It looks like we're going to get a field goal try.
it was the tight end Thompson that he was trying to connect with, was well covered. It was kind of a busted play from the jump as McPherson ran into Delk. And with the ball at the 17-yard line, we'll see where Delk, who will hold it, will set up at. He'll be at the 24, so from the left hash, we're going to get a 34-yard field goal, the first official attempt for Brody McAllister. 7:56 left in the ball game. 15-point lead for FS. Kick is up. It's got the power, and it is good.
That was that was a pretty kick, and giving the Wildcats a great advantage.
34-yard field goal for Brody McAllister. We're going to keep it here. 24-6 now, the Franklin Simpson lead. In the first scrimmage, Brody was very cautious with his PATs. You could tell the objective was just kick it through the uprights. And this game, I noticed more and more confidence. He's starting to kick that ball harder and harder. And here in his first extend the lead to 18 points as McAllister boots the kickoff. It's fielded inside the 20-yard line. Good run out to about the 35. Davis County charging forward. Think a flag might have come in on the far side. If so, most likely against Davis. For now, it's marked at the 36 of Davis County. Actually, they've got it at the 37, but as the call comes in, it's going to be actually a face mask off the ball against Franklin Simpson. So the Cats, again, give some life to these Panthers as they'll move up into Franklin Simpson territory unless it was the 5-yard variety. And it's not the case. It's full 15 up to the Franklin Simpson 48-yard line.
And we'll see if Davis County has any more gas left in them, or if they let it all go in that last drive. That was an incredible drive of just 6 plays, and they were able to score in 70 yards.
And still plenty of time left with 7:42 if you can move the football. In the gun is Davis. He's going to hand it off up the middle. This time it's wrapped up. Great play, as that's the first time we've seen a Lincoln Hoffman run not go for big yardage. That time only gains 1.
It's kind of hard to see who was able to get that tackle. Was that Crafton or?
They say it was Moss.
Yeah, he kind of got that jersey a little.
He does.
A little shrunk on him, I guess. I don't know, but I think it may have been Crafton. I can't really tell. No, Crafton's playing tackle. That is Moss.
2 wide receivers each way on 2nd and 9. Davis takes the snap. It's a delayed handoff to Hoffman. Gets out left side, but he's wrapped up and dropped. And that time I can tell you with confidence, it was Caden Bennett that made the play.
Gained a bit of, yeah, and Patrick Moss is over there too. He was in on that play and made the running back dance a little bit more than he wanted to. And I like Patrick Moss. He's got a high motor, a lot of energy playing out there.
That one again only goes for a yard, so it'll be 3rd and 8. Davis County at the Franklin Simpson 46-yard line. 2 wide receivers each way again. Davis takes the snap, looking to throw far side. It's nearly picked off, but it's dropped off the fingertips again. That might have been the exact same bluff blitz from Jackson Gass.
Yeah, and he was able to drop back in coverage and almost come up with a second interception.
And it's surprising when you look back at all the interceptions Franklin Simpson had last year. They were amongst the state leaders in that category with 15 picks. The team leader was Lane Alford out of that linebacker spot doing a lot of the same stuff, just dropping back into coverage when it looked like he was going to blitz, fooling defenses. And now here on a 4th and 8.
Tough to do, very tough to do.
.25 left, really their last chance to keep this game going, trailing at 24-6. Bunched up formation with 2 wide receivers snugging the offensive line on each side. Davis has a running back to his left, drops back to throw. Cats get some pressure. Davis wants to go deep, launches it over everybody. The nearest receiver was the back judge, and it falls incomplete, and Davis County turns it over on downs.
Good job by Davis County offensive line. I mean, they gave their quarterback a chance, but even better job. That was just a great coverage. Great coverage by Franklin Simpson. They were able to get a turnover on downs and get the ball back with 6:18 left to go, and hopefully.
On 45-yard line. Anderson goes into motion. They give it to him. Running left. Cuts inside. Gets up to the 49 for a gain of 4.
Not going too conservative. When you come out running a jet sweep, now you're staying in bounds. You're telling your guys to stay in bounds, but you're not just going to come out in that heavy set and run up the middle. You're spreading it out.
Colin, in a senior season, one of 5 captains for this Franklin Simpson team. Coach Chaney told me that's a weird thing. We had something new for the first time this year, a tie in the captain voting. So outside of the normal 4, there are 5 this year in Blake, Colin, Jackson Crafton, Big Zeke. We don't talk about Zeke Eberhardt too much. He just does his job. There's not much bad to talk about with him, as well as Lane Alford. Lane, the fullback here, as Anderson goes into motion again. They go up the middle to Lane, gets across the 50, slips down to the 46-yard line if they give him that spot.
I think that snap was a little too early, but it looked good. So, Coach Chaney's not going to, I think you said at one point the player he's the most hard on is the other Chaney on the team, his son. And you can't get too mad at him when it works.
5 minutes left in the ball game. They do mark it at the 46, so it's a 3rd and 2. Handoff faked. Delk holds on to it. Looked like a bit of a busted play as he tried to turn to his left and run with it. Dropped in the backfield. And the way he sat there after that play, it tells me I don't know how much of that went according to script, Tyler.
Oh, it didn't. And, somebody was supposed to get the ball on one side and they weren't there. And it was just busted. I mean, it looked like the first busted play worked. The second one was just a disaster. So, first game of the year, you can keep saying that all you want, but hopefully you can shore it up by next week and look a little bit more crisp.
Davis County player down and being worked on. It's a bit of a friendly spot for Franklin Simpson from where Delk fell down with it at the 47-yard line. So it's decision time, and it's an interesting decision to make. 4:38 left in the ball game, leading at 24-6. You've got a 4th and 3 at the Davis County 47-yard line. Defense has been very stout most of the game, but Davis County has shown signs of life. Looks like
I think
Franklin Simpson's going to keep the offense out here.
No hesitation. They're going for it. Where you are on the field with only 3 yards to go, even if you don't get it, your defense has been playing good. But you want that ball in your hand, and you want to milk that clock right now if you can. A punt is going to – they've been getting close to a block punt. You don't want to do that. Definitely not at this point. And if you do punt it, you're looking at maybe 20, 30 yards. And, when Davis County's got guys that can just catch the ball and go 60, 70 without being touched, and, you just want the ball in your hands.
Ball is at the 47-yard line. Officially it says 4th and 3, but line of gain is really like the 44.5, so you need 2.5 yards here. Franklin Simpson will keep the offense out on the field. Delk takes the snap, under center, pitches it out. McPherson cuts upfield, gets past the 40. He's got room to run. 35-30, pushed out of bounds inside there, and they pick up the first down with ease. It has been all Blake in this second half.
And that's just a go-to 4th down play for Franklin Simpson. Short side of the field, getting it out to Blake McPherson, and he's able to make guys miss and run the ball hard and get upfield and get that first. He another thing that's developed in his game, we talked about, he's shiftier and quicker. I think he's playing a lot smarter. Not that he played dumb last year or anything like that, but he's known where the sticks are. He knows where he needs to go for a first down, and he's getting there. And I like to see the growth of him that we're seeing.
Gained 21 yards that time. Lane Alford gets the carry to start this set of downs. Spin away from the first tackler, knocked down at the 25. They might give him forward progress. We'll see where they officially mark it. And the official's going to walk that one all the way up to the 23-yard line.
Good run. Lane looks like he's coming off, getting a breather, but doesn't look like he's limping off, but he didn't limp on that play. He wants to keep going. Getting Keegan Hazel in the game, another fullback, and maybe he's going to be able to get in the rotation a little bit.
He's in there at fullback as Delk goes under center. Colin Anderson standing beside Hazel in the backfield. It goes to Anderson on a pitch out left side, across the 20, inside the 15-10. Can he tiptoe down the sideline? Tries to, but he's pushed out of bounds. Maya Hunt near the 5-yard line. Collins still down. It was a hard hit. And good heads-up job by Cole Alford to point it out to make sure the coaching staff and the training staff knows that Collins down over there.
Yeah, he got knocked pretty good as he's coming. Hopefully it's nothing too big. Looks like they're looking at a cramp issue, but
goes for a gain of 18 down to the 5-yard line. Another goal line opportunity for Franklin Simpson. We'll see if it results eventually in another 1-yard touchdown for Lane. He's got 3 1-yard touchdowns, although I've got to say, Tyler, it feels like each 1-yard touchdown has been shorter than the one before. The first one might have been a true yard. The second one was maybe half, and the third one was maybe a few feet.
yeah.
Well, a few feet, let me clarify, a few inches.
Yeah. But I like what I'm seeing Franklin Simpson in this drive. This may be, I think this is already their longest drive, gone 50 yards. I don't think they've done that so far to this point on a drive. And, I like what I'm seeing for them to close out this game.
3:42 left in the ball game. Clock frozen for now as they continue to work on Anderson on the sideline. 24-6 is the Franklin Simpson lead. trying to put the exclamation point on what would be a solid season opening win against the Daviess County team that, if nothing else, they have played really tough. They're physical, a lot more physicality out of the defensive secondary in particular than you would expect. They've got some good athletes. And if nothing else, goal number one, week one of the season, you just want to go out, take care of business. You know it's probably going to be your ugliest game of the season. And one way or another, you just want to find a way to win.
Yeah, and that's what Franklin Simpson's able to do. Even with the young guys and the new guys, you know, you can go into it. You don't want a game where you don't, like you win by, get a running clock at, in the second quarter, because you want some good film to grow on this game. You don't want to lose any games, and, hopefully Franklin Simpson can hold on. I think they, have every ability to, but at the same time, they're going to have good film and be able to grow really well from this.
We'll get back underway. At least it looked like we were for a moment. Franklin Simpson had gotten up to the ball, and the officials are waving the players on the bench to move down to their restricted area. Franklin Simpson had kind of huddled around Colin as they still work on him on the sideline.
There.
McPherson, Aiden Jones, and Kaysen Himshoot for now look like the three backs that will line up for this play. As there are 5 members of the staff down there around Colin as he's helped to his feet and almost immediately went down, but he hops back up. It's that left leg right now not bending the knees, putting weight on it. And the officials will give the good to go to get back underway. 3:42 left in the ball game. First and goal from the 5 for Franklin Simpson. Jones, McPherson, him shooting the backfield. Now gives it to Jones, running left, stumbles his way into the end zone, and he's got himself a 5-yard touchdown.
Great run, great powerful run, and Aiden, in the normal offense, the heavy set, he's been there a lot, but he's not been in the offense a lot at fullback in just the normal offense. So, he's a hard-nosed runner. I think as the season goes on, you'll be able to see him. But you don't want to give him too much starting his first game at defensive tackle and then coming in that heavy set. But you're going to hear his name. You're going to have to hear his name as the season goes on.
Good snap, good hold on the PAT, and the kick is good. Perfect day so far for Brody McAllister, and Franklin Simpson extends the lead out 31-6. 3:39 left in the ball game here at Warren East High. You're listening to Franklin Simpson football on 92.3 WFKN. Let's do a 30. Booted away. The kickoff is initially muffed by Daviess County, but it's recovered, and the Panthers are able to run it out to the 25-yard line, and that's where they'll take over. 6 points on the board, 1 touchdown drive, and it was a drive that if you were to take it out compared to the rest of the game, it would give you a completely different view of this Daviess County team just marched right down the field against the Franklin Simpson defense. And Tyler, outside of that one drive, we have not seen too much of anything from this Daviess County offense.
No, and you said, I think they're, trying to do too much. But, at the same time, they're players. This is a new system for them. Next year they may pick it up better. But, tonight it's not working. It's not working for them. They're not able to do much of anything outside that one drive on offense.
5-yard touchdown run from Aiden Jones, the longest touchdown of the night for Franklin Simpson, capped off that latest drive. As Daviess County comes out in the field, they're going to run on the first play, and Franklin Simpson is all over it. Goes for no gain.
Jamarius Franklin was able to get back there, and then Caden Bennett and Jackson Crafton, Jackson Gass were all able to finish him off. Great team effort on defense.
They'll give a friendly yard of forward progress to the 26-yard line. 2nd and 9 there. 3 minutes left and ticking in this ball game. Hoffman moves from the left side to the right side of his quarterback, trips to the right, one wide receiver left. Daviess gets the snap. He's looking to throw deep, goes down the seam. It's underthrown for a Hunt, and a couple of Wildcats get in the area to make sure that ball connects with no one.
Yeah, I don't think Franklin Simpson even cared if they had a defensive pass interference. You don't want that guy catching the ball right there.
That's the 14th pass attempt for the game for Davis County. 7 for Garrison Barker, who started the game. 7 for Remy Davis, who started the second half. They've had one completion, that lone 18-yard touchdown, and that's been it.
That's been it.
Figured they'll try to throw here or at least start that way. Davis has flashed what he can do with his feet. 2 carries for 28 yards, the biggest one a 22-yard carry. They've got 2 wide receivers each way here as Davis gets the snap on 3rd and 9. It's a quick out route to the near side. It's caught. Turning upfield after the catch is Garrison Barker, who started the game at quarterback. And he
You look pretty good at wide receiver.
didn't quite get enough for the first down, but they can roll the dice now on what's going to be just a 4th and 2.
Davis County looks like they're going hurry up like they tried to start the game and go no huddle, get up the line quick.
7-yard completion makes it 4th and 2 at the 33-yard line. Quick out again. Is this one caught? It is. It's held on to on the near side. They go to the exact same play to the exact same player with Barker. That time it's collected for a shorter gain of 4, but it's enough to move the chains.
Clock's ticking. Looked like Davis County was going to try to do what you call a 2-minute drill where they try to get up to the line and they snap the ball quick and try to run down the field really quick to try to get a score, but then now they're huddling again. So just a change of pace.
Says a lot about the character of Barker, where you get subbed out at quarterback, but you come out at wide receiver and you're still playing.
Yeah, he's not pouting out there. I mean, it looks like a high-character kid.
They've got 3 wide receivers bunched up against the line of scrimmage, actually 4, 2 on each side. They're going to look throw again. Davis pressured from the middle, flushed out left side, still got his head up looking to throw at the last moment. Believe it might have been tipped by Delk, who was all over it regardless, and it falls incomplete on the far side. 2nd and 10.
And they're trying to run what you call a mesh route, having everybody bunched in there in the middle, and then 2 guys go to the left side, and then 2 guys go to the right side, just crossing the middle, trying to find a hole in his own. A lot of times it works better for a man-to-man, but Franklin Simpson hadn't run man-to-man all evening. But nonetheless, Franklin Simpson was there. They were defending it well.
2nd and 10, ball at the 37-yard line. Franklin Simpson a minute and 27 seconds away from opening this season with a decisive win over Davis County, currently leading at 31-6. Spread formation, 2 wide receivers each side. Davis hands it off up the middle, and Hoffman is swallowed up and dropped for a short gain.
That's my guy, Jamarius Franklin, coming off the edge and getting a solid tackle.
And Davis County is going to take a timeout after that play with 1:14 left. They've got 2 timeouts remaining. And they'll actually say that went for no gain at all. Great job by Franklin Simpson defense. Hoffman, his first 3 carries, he had 9 yards, 13 yards, 6 yards. Since then, 4 carries for a total of 2 yards. And the Cats are going to walk away between him and Maisie, who had a great season last year, really came on at the end of the year. I mentioned this in the pregame, but they went 5-2 over their last 7 games. And in the last 7 games he played, averaged 78 yards per game, really became the bell cow back for this for this Davis County team. He had 6 carries for 8 yards lost in the first half, 1 carry for 11 yards in the second half. But overall, if you were to tell Coach Cheney he's going to have 7 carries for 3 yards, I think you'd be delighted.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You got to give a lot of credit to this defense for Franklin Simpson this evening. And, just answering the call, playing aggressive is the main thing, that you can be proud of them with. Playing aggressive. A lot of new coaches. Pretty much the whole defensive side of the field is you got new coaches and a lot of energy playing tonight.
Defense has been the bright spot for this Franklin Simpson team, have just looked dominant. at times as we get back out on the field. 31-6, Franklin Simpson leads at 3rd and 9 for Davis County. Davis in the gun. Remy Davis, that is the quarterback. He's looking to go deep. He's got Hunt. He beat everybody. It was underthrown. Did Hunt make the catch? Anyways, he did. Falling down at the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 37.
Yeah, if you are able to air that out, it looks like Davis County, their motivation is to go quick after a big gain. And
he had everybody beat over the top. If he caught him in stride, it's a touchdown. Fortunately for Franklin Simpson, a little bit behind him. 37-yard gain through the air. Quick snap. Remy Davis flushed out again, tries to run up the middle, escapes the first tackler, now drifts to his left across the 20-yard line, cuts upfield and hit hard at the 15-yard line. That was Kason Hemshoot, I think, coming up to make the hit.
First down, Panthers.
Davis County, as soon as you think that they don't have life, I mean, they get a spark. I mean, this is the second time they've done that. I think they have some good momentum to go in as the season progresses.
Well, and I think it's safe to say, I don't know for sure because you don't know what the discussion looks like, what the film looks like, but I think you win this quarterback battle and commit to Remy Davis going forward.
I think it's decided. I mean, he's given them as much of a spark as they've been able to
Got a
get.
first down on that carry to the 15, throws it near side, it's caught. There again is the former quarterback Barker on another out route, gets down inside the 10, inside 30 seconds left in this ball game. They've got a timeout left if they want to use it. It's a gain of 7 down to the 8-yard line. Third catch for Barker.
Yeah, I mean, Barker, I mean, even if you put Davis at quarterback, Barker's
he's probably your
really
second best receiver.
Yeah, he's playing really good at receiver.
Inside 10 seconds left in the ball game, and it's a false start. Everybody ran before the snap. That'll be a false start on everybody but the center.
Yeah.
Remains second down.
And it might have been a fortunate one because the snap was high anyways. It'll make it 2nd and 8, ball at the 13-yard line. 7.9 seconds remaining. Franklin Simpson going to walk away with a win, but can they keep that 6 on the scoreboard?
And then they're running the clock. Davis County's not going to be able to get this off.
They've got one timeout left. We'll see if they take it. They do with 3.4 seconds left. I don't blame them. You want to try to punch it in on this last drive.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you got to
now, I mean, you could argue.
.25, except have momentum as you go into the next game. So
They got 13 yards to go to the end zone as we get back underway. Can the Franklin Simpson defense hold one more time? 3 wide receivers left side, 1 right. Remy Davis, he's looking to go right side, back of the end zone. Jace Hunt open, and it's caught. Slipped him past 2 defenders, and if nothing else, you mentioned you discovered Jace Hunt from his film on Twitter. Got a little bit more for that purpose with his second touchdown catch of the day, and if you're Franklin Simpson, again, the good news, 2 touchdown catches, but only 3 catches in total.
yeah, he's able to pad those stats and continue to build his recruiting profile, and he's building a really good recruiting profile. And
Zeros on the clock. Normally, I think you'd let this go. I don't know if they're going to let him kick the extra point or not. Davis County doesn't seem to know if they're getting to kick the extra point or not. And looks like for now that's the game plan. So we'll see if this time it'll be knocked through after missing it last time. 31-12 is the score for now. If you look, Hunt is actually the holder for the kicks. The high snap fielded it well. Kick is up, and the kick this time is Good. That'll give us our final score, 31-13. Franklin Simpson wins it. A weird ending with Daviess County getting a touchdown to finish it off. And like you said, just trying to take whatever they can from this ball game. But nonetheless, Franklin Simpson opens the season 1-0. They move to 3-2 in season openers under head coach Max Chaney and make it back-to-back years they've won a game to start the season here at Warren East High School. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we get our post-game show underway, get you all the stats from this ball game. We'll hopefully chat with Coach Chaney and whatever player he brings with him, although we'll see if he sends everybody straight to the bus to get these guys back home with such a late night. We'll take it as we get it on the broadcast. Join us for whatever comes in this post-game show right after this on 92.3 WFKN. All right, the 3 minutes should be good here.